already.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All
I
right.
thought Lauren came back for a second.
No, just a robot.
Just
Okay,
a
so
robot.
when last we left you, Blue Hearts, you were on the track to recover your final key to the siphon. Having stormed the Lonely Island, you proceeded underneath into the Ziggurat complex, chasing down your doppelgangers who seemed to be one step ahead of you. Ultimately, you managed to reach the vault where the key was located, only to engage in a confrontation with those very same doppelgangers, who seemed to be after the key for their own ends, although they were quite vague about their motives. After trying to keep you from obtaining the key by throwing some roadblocks in your way, namely Goff and Roscoe's doppelgangers confronting you, killing Mito, uh, although she was ultimately saved by a very clutch intervention by Eldath. You
Yeah.
ultimately entered the vault and stole the key out from under your adversaries. At which point you escaped from the Ziggurat complex just as Umberlee's Wrath, a titanic leviathan, brought the entire island down into the depths. So now you have journeyed back to Umberlee's Embrace for a night of festivities and celebration, a well-earned respite. So, as the sun sets upon the Embrace, the people do not sleep. Bonfires glow throughout the town, the sound of raucous laughter and a song, a symphony on the winds. And in the center of the town, near the temple, the greatest of these celebrations continues well into the night. The drink flows freely, the clansmen and the Arcadian soldiers mingling, laughing, and telling stories. Every so often, the celebrants raise a toast to the Arcadians, to victory, and to the Blue Hearts. You feast on the sweetest meads and the most succulent meats and fruits, a fitting reprieve from the chaos of the last week. So, Blue Hearts, what do you wish to do?
Is it still the night of
Yes.
the night? Oh, so the Arcadians that were like that we were sailing with, they're all here.
Mhm.
Okay, I wasn't actually sure at the end of the last session if they were coming into the Embrace with us or if they were just gonna go. Okay. Well, I'm kind of sad Lauren's not here because I was gonna say something funny about drinking mead, but I think Goff definitely, just even though Lauren's not here, he does a little, like, I don't know if it's a toast or just a glass clink, like a whatever you would call it. That
It's a bread.
like, what?
It's a bread.
A bread?
Toast.
Oh,
Jokes.
like he raises he clinks glasses with Mito and shares a drink with her, since the joke is always how she always wants to grab a drink and he never does, but he does this time. Sorry, that's kind of weird to explain since Lauren's not here, but I felt that was something that he was gonna do.
Yeah.
Probably quietly shares a drink with Jirok. Just nods to him, and
He's uncharacteristically boisterous tonight, and over the course of the evening, he's just getting more and more drunk. He looks like this is a man who has been under a lot of stress for a very long time.
yeah.
He finally is at ease for the first time in a long time.
Is Corey here?
Yeah.
How old is she? And did we
She's
learn
about
that?
17.
Oh, okay. So like really, younger than I thought. Okay. I guess that would make sense for her to be 17, considering I didn't know she was born until after I was already gone. I don't know. Is there things that you guys wanted to do or say?
Drink. Also
Yeah.
gonna grab a mead. A mead. A mead.
Mira's gonna have like 5 or 6.
I don't know. I didn't think about exactly what Goff will be doing during the festivities. I guess he's just trying to enjoy himself, but still feeling a little bit out of place.
Okay. I'd say over the course of the night, periodically people are coming up to you and raising a glass to you all and thanking you and shaking your hands and so forth.
Goff is very uncomfortable about all of that. Like he reciprocates, but he's definitely not hiding very well that he's kind of uncomfortable with all the attention. He doesn't really like it, I don't think.
Okay. So is there anything you wish to do, or do you wish to turn in for the evening?
I don't know. I mean, there's stuff I wanted to do the next day. Is Jirok and or Arcadia going to be here tomorrow?
Yeah.
In game? Because I think I was going to at least talk to Arcadia tomorrow, like in game tomorrow.
But not in
The
real
next-
life.
No, not in real life. Sorry, I know I'm emphasizing that.
It's okay. I'm sorry, I just had to
The following day, I think I was going to try and talk to her, but I mean, I think Goff is just kind of, right now, he's just kind of, I mean, he's uncomfortably and awkwardly responding to random people that come up to them, but when, like, with everyone else in the party, he's probably just kind of warmly smiling at people and, you know, clasping their shoulders and laughing with you know, whatever's going on. I mean, he's probably still looking relaxed and relieved for a moment and enjoying some I think what he kind of wished things had been like when he was, you know, a kid, and just, I don't know, feeling kind of mixed up about that, I guess. He's not a party guy. I mean, everyone knows that. So I don't know why I'm still elaborating on this, but
Party boy Goff.
no, that's a different universe, Goff.
Okay.
Yeah, I think other than that, he probably doesn't do. I don't do anything in particular.
So then you wish to all turn in, or what do you wish to do?
I mean, I'm fine with that. Unless there's something you wanted to, like, draw attention to. I didn't know if you're...
No, it's
Okay.
It's mostly just very relieved celebrating. So
Yeah.
Throughout the entire evening, families are being reunified. You know, Roscoe occasionally is just getting involved too. He's enjoying the festivities. He's running around as people are dancing around the bonfires, and he's just sort of capers around at their feet. Eventually, he wears himself out.
Yeah. I think at some point Goff probably finds Vogel and Tempest, and oh my
They're staying
god.
sober.
Right, sure, but I mean, Goff isn't getting, like, wasted or anything either. He's just he has a couple meads just because, like, that was what he agreed he would do if things worked out.
Me. Oh shit, I lost all my
mead.
notes, guys.
Oh no.
Oh, that didn't save. Anyway, sorry.
Oh wait, all your D&D notes?
I had them on sticky notes like an idiot.
Oh no.
And
Well,
I
I have-
opened sticky notes again. They're not there.
I have notes, but I only write down things when I'm not paying a lot of attention to what's going on. So
He had a physical notebook.
I did, and I can't find it because my
Um,
room is a disaster right now.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, Nauri.
Yes.
I probably if she's around, I'm assuming she would be. I
Mhm.
also find
She's
her
there.
and, you know, just say thank you for. I just thank her. Goff thanks her for the support she gave. It was, you know, he goes around to people that helped out and thanks them.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, he kind of just watches when other people, other Blue Hearts or other people, you know, have a good time, and he tries. I mean, I think he's having a good time, but he's still kind of like what just happened, still is weighing on him pretty bad. Like the fact that we just met alternate versions of ourselves. I mean, we just saw alternate versions of ourselves again, and they like basically confirmed that in some other path of time or space that things got really fucked up. We basically had to sacrifice any chances they had to save ourselves or to try and do our thing right. And I think that's kind of fucking him up right now. And he's not really able to get it off his mind completely. But he's still having a decent time, I think.
So you haven't answered my question. Are you all heading?
Sorry, I'm
Yes.
just.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to think about my character's headspace. Sorry.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, I'll take
Okay.
go and rest. Sleep.
So you all have a well-deserved rest. You fall into your beds, which are provided to you in the Jarl's Longhouse. Just you fall into these and are just completely out like a light. Wake up early the next morning. The cold, salt sea breeze blowing in from the ocean. It's quieter in the town this morning, as many people seem to be sleeping in or otherwise nursing hangovers. You pass by a bunch of snoozing guards and the Jarl herself, who seems to have passed out in her her kind of throne, essentially. You make your way outside. What do you wish to do?
Go ahead.
I want to pull the blue hearts kind of aside, like not just to a place where most people can't hear us. And so I didn't want to bring this up last night because we were, celebrations and all, but what are we going to do with the elephant in the room, so to speak?
What is an elephant?
It's
I do not understand this phrase.
It's big.
It's a creature that's on the eastern continent.
Would I know about
Thanks
it?
God.
I don't think I would know about it.
You probably study in nature books.
Okay, well then, if I know... okay, well I'll still say I do not understand the phrase.
The
What room? Why?
the burning topic at hand, the key.
Oh.
The fact that we
Ah.
have the key, but
I have been thinking as well. I feel we must withhold it. We must find... When we return, we must find Anna.
can
we must be
trust
sure. We must make sure we can trust her. And if we cannot make sure of that, I don't know where to go from there. I can request she agree to a zone of truth spell, but I cannot know for sure if she will withhold it without me knowing.
Just assuming we find her.
Anna? She's been missing
Assuming.
for a while, and
Well-
while normally I would not put any stock in the rumors of the leader of the Harbingers perhaps being the Chancellor, she's been missing for a while, and we haven't been able to contact her.
While I cannot fully comprehend the nature of those that looked like us, one who looked like me spoke firmly that we should not trust anyone, and I am taking that to heart. I have felt weary of those in the city and elsewhere since the moment I set foot, but it only confirms that we must be more careful than we've ever been.
So do we lie?
What do you mean?
Do we lie and say we don't
We
have
can
it?
either say that somebody else ran off with it, or we can say that we have it and we're not going to give it to them.
Who will we be talking to?
I'm assuming Anna.
Whoever else is mixed up in the academy.
Well, I believe we will return, and if at all possible, we will avoid speaking of it, or even acknowledging it. We will try to find Anna before anything else. We would try to get into a place with her where we cannot be scryed upon or spied upon. I don't know not how we will do that, but we need to find a safe place to speak with her and only her, no one else. We need to find out if we can trust her. I want to believe we can, because when the other me talked about it, he made it sound like she still would have been helpful to them if she was alive. To explain whatever was going on. But she was not.
Okay,
So,
but what happens
I
if we
think-
can't trust her? What if we step into that zone of truth and we find out that she can't, or if she refuses?
We must find someone we can trust. The detective, maybe. When I spoke with him, I've always gotten a feeling he is one to be trusted, but even if we went to him, we would need to ask him to agree to the same terms. If he cannot, Alonzo, far away, but I would trust him more than anyone else beyond you and Liza. He is the one I would trust the most. Maybe I'm just biased because I like him, and he has given me gifts, but he would be another one I would consider.
Well, Alonso's not an Arcadian, so that's
That is
something
also
going for
true.
him.
But he could help us, maybe, or at least we could find a stronger ally within him. We know, in terms of people in Arcadia, it is difficult. It will be hard to find someone we can trust and speak with them discreetly. But we do know we have people outside of Arcadia that, unless there truly are machinations beyond our understanding, are out of the realm of the Harbinger's reach. My brothers, well, one of them at least, Drak, Alonzo, Horace, family, I would hope. We have allies, but in Arcadia we cannot be sure. And as well, we have people in our employ, and I'm worried maybe some or one of them are compromised. Or maybe if they are not, they are in danger, and I do not know how to handle that.
It's
So my big question is, where do we, if we're not giving it to them, where do we put it? Do we keep it on hand?
Well, as long as it's in the bag, it is afflicting nobody.
and nobody will be able to grab it unless they know exactly what they're looking for, and if
Exactly.
they can
And
get the bag away from us.
the only people that know.
Or else.
Can I do a perception check?
For what?
Just for people that are listening or that are
Yeah,
could be
I mean,
around.
I would have.
I have a moment of just like panic. 26.
There's no one.
Okay.
Reads.
Okay.
People are.
Like I've
very
got a
tired.
passive perception of 19. So
Holy
perception, Jesus. Would perception also indicate the awareness of like a scrying spell,
No.
or is that something else?
That's. You need to use some sort of thing that sees invisible things.
listen, I'm true seeing now, and it costs 25 gold a pop, and only lasts an hour.
No, I didn't ask you to use it. I was just so Goff just in a moment he pauses and he kind of looks around.
I'm gonna roll for my staff charge as well.
We
Yeah, don't forget to
Assuming-
fill your stuff back up.
I
assuming
feel
that
as though when we make our actual plans, we will need to make sure that we're not being spied upon, magically or otherwise.
yes, we
So
must,
either now
Oh,
or
wait, that's the
later.
wrong roll.
assuming we are not under watch at this moment. We are the only ones who know where the key is. We cannot reveal it to anyone else till we know for a fact they can be trusted. That is the way of it right now.
Yep.
those that looked like us made it seem like these keys were all to be put into the control of someone else together. Would mean great mistakes were made. We already have 2 in the Academy's hold. Now I have looked close and long every time we've encountered Gimbal. As far as I can tell, he is innocently unaware of anything, and he is merely doing his job, but these people are cunning. At least the ones that are in higher position. Maybe he is one of them, maybe he is not. I worry that there are multiple people that cannot be trusted, if not beyond just the one that we've heard of. We must be very paranoid, more than I normally am. If we are going to do this right, if we are going to do right by those who sacrificed for us, whether they wanted to or not.
Well, you and Myra are the only people I've ever trusted anyway, so it makes things easier for me.
Yes.
My family can be manipulated by my brother, so I'm...
That is true.
Or vice
Maybe
versa, so I'm
they're
unsure
best
how-
left out.
Let's just keep it on the down low for now.
And if I see your brother again, I'm going to hit him.
You think you're going to hit him?
We can take turns. So, we are in agreement. We will not speak of this to anyone until we know. If we find Anna, she is okay. We must make her agree. We must insist she agree to our terms before we reveal anything. And then we must, after we do so, we must find someplace that is guaranteed to be safe from a scrying spell or from listening ears or watchful eyes. We must find someplace. I don't know. Maybe she has something. Maybe could make one. Though I also worry that the people that would be in charge of creating a space could put in... I don't know how these things work, but we've had outside help construct these things in our home before, yes. We must ensure that if we are to construct... We discussed in the past a magical protection to the war room.
I think it would be an excellent idea.
It would, but I worry that those in charge of placing the spell upon it, maybe they are under control as well. Maybe there would be, we would have to test it, at least, to make sure that we are not going to be, there's not a loophole or some kind of exception for a watchful eye elsewhere.
Alright, I mean...
We have to be very careful, is my point. We have to be careful about every move we make and every word we say.
Absolutely. You don't have to tell me twice.
I know.
Alright.
So, now that dark discussion's out of the way, let's go get some breakfast. Or something. Are we going to head right back to Arcadia from here?
I have something I wish to do today. It will take me a good portion of the day. I apologize for the delay this will cause. If the Arcadians need to leave, well, hope you won't mind another teleportation spell, or I can find my own way.
Oh, I got
I
another
must-
one in me. The
I
Arcadians
wish
can sweat.
it is perhaps silly, but I wish to express a gesture of goodwill and kindness to the people here, as they did for us.
You do
And
what you need to.
So I have a ritual I wish to perform, but it will take me several hours. So I am going to go to do that, I believe. So I suppose while I am, tend to whatever business you wish.
Alright. Also, I'm gonna be right back for a second.
And saying that, so basically what I'm going to want to do is, well, actually, I want to know, so like there was farmland around this area, right?
Yes.
I want to find a good, roughly central point of the farmland,
Okay.
and I want to start doing the 8-hour plant growth spell.
Okay. Cool.
To basically
Easily
enrich
done.
the land and make it fucking dope for farming, essentially, for a year. But as I'm on my way to do that, I want to see if I can find Coria.
Okay. It takes you a bit of searching, but eventually you head down to the beach side, stepping across the sands where the blue buds of the cerulean sunbursts are coming up through the patchy grass outcroppings, and you see Coria standing at the edges of the beach, looking out over toward the ocean. And she's very quiet and contemplative.
I walk up to her and walk out as well.
Okay. She kind of looks towards you for a moment, and you see a very small smile on her face, and then she continues looking back over the ocean.
One thing has not changed. It has always been beautiful to look out to the sea here.
It's true. When I was young, whenever I doubted myself, whenever I needed time alone, I would come to the ocean and just gaze outward.
I did the same. Maybe under different circumstances.
And I gesture to the flowers, the sunbursts growing.
And these always brought me comfort as well.
She looks down across the beach. She says, "This is the first time I've seen them."
Well, once they were plentiful. Though, as I'm sure you're aware, when I left, and before then even, my relations with my siblings, your uncles and your father, was not good. And after I left, I believe your father he is difficult sometimes, and he can get emotional. I believe, according to what he told me, he removed because it reminded him of me.
But, and I look down on my feet, and I
the green goddess, she works in wonderful ways sometimes. And it seems they are returned.
She seems pretty thoughtful as she continues looking out over the ocean. After a moment, she says, "Well, I wish I could say the same about my goddess, but things are going to be different now."
And that is why I came to see you. I wanted to know how you feeling, and how you plan to move forward from here, knowing what has happened.
Oh, I've seen the truth. But my faith and my belief are to the people of these isles. I'll try to help them as best they can. As best as I can. It's going to be difficult. But maybe through the act of looking out for each other. We'll find some way of maybe finding some new calling.
That is a healthy outlook to have so quickly after all that has happened. You have a strong heart.
I wanted to give you something.
Oh,
She turns toward you. And you see her reaching behind her neck, and she unclasps the necklace that's around her neck. It's just a thin cord that is decorated with a number of pieces of coral and seashells. And she sort of bundles it up in her hand, and she extends her hand and she very gently places it in your palm. Consider this a promise.
of what?
I know that you will be going soon. You have responsibilities on the mainland, but one day I would maybe like to visit. And consider this a promise that we will see each other again.
Goff wraps his fingers around it and pulls it a little close. Says,
Very well, I promise it is.
She nods and she smiles.
I know it is more complicated than this, but I'm sorry. I feel responsible a bit. Though Umberlee is a cruel goddess, and she is petty and selfish. You know this. She was a part of this culture, and even though it was not something I liked or agreed with, it was still part of it. I want you to understand, I did not come here to bring damage or to change these people. I just wanted to get the thing that was harming them. I wanted to get that item. I didn't come here to interrupt anything. But when the moot occurred in Umberlee, but when I was in the ancestor's tomb, and then with the moot, she tried to stop me both times, and it is, I believe, partially because of me and the fact that I spoke back to a goddess of all things, that the blessing that she placed upon these lands and on these ships, and your people, is gone.
It wasn't so much a blessing as it was a agreement.
A threat.
A threat that if we ever stopped worshipping her, she would end our lives. You know, there was a time past when Umberlee wasn't the only deity worshipped on these islands.
Aye. So I've learned. Oh, 1 second. Checking notes. When I went for my long delayed trials, I spoke with Egli, the devout. He also followed the Grove Mother, like I, and that was quite a surprise. As I grew up, it was nothing but Umberlee. And I hope.
I don't know that name. We'll have to look into him.
Yes,
Maybe
Cragbreaker
some
from
guidance
before
that
our
way.
time. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Maybe I'll find some guidance that way.
Yes, well. Oh. Well, I know not the resources available in the hold. Maybe the knowledge is more spread out than it used to be. But if you ever want to see a diversity of faith or paths to follow, Arcadia has a portion of the city that is temples and shrines. It is quite fascinating.
Well, when I come to Arcadia, you'll have to show me around.
I will. And hopefully things will be peaceful to do. It is a chaotic city. There are... kind of froze his brow and things. There are elements of darkness underneath the surface. They are good, but there are also people that... It is complicated. I will not bring you into it.
She looks a little confused, but accepting.
In a place with so many different kinds of people, there are negative aspects of man that can control people. I am not... So, we've been... My point being, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this. We've encountered some not so great people in this city, but overall, when things are good, they are great. And it is worth visiting.
Well, then I'll have to plan a trip soon. She kind of grins.
Well, I am sorry I am probably very awkward. I've only known you for a short amount of time, so I do not know how to speak comfortably, but anyway, I am glad to have met you. I am honored that you practice faith as well, even if it does not under the same goddess. I am going to give one last gift to these people before we leave. I'm going to be going to the farmlands nearby and performing a ritual to help the land grow. If you wish to come join me, we can talk further. I would gladly accept it. If not, that's fine. I just thought I would offer the invitation.
Thank you, but I think I need to think on the last day for a bit.
Very well. Oh, one more thing. Your Uncle Orn, he will likely be locked in a cell in Arcadia. If I have the chance to speak with him again, is there any message or anything you wish me to tell him?
Tell him to behave himself.
Very well. I can gladly do that.
Okay.
And I just nod to her and I say,
Very well. May the light of a new future follow you. And may you stay strong-hearted. And don't let your father get out of control. Slap him for me if you need to.
She laughs.
He's not so scary.
No, you just have to know how to handle him.
Precisely. Well, I must go.
Okay.
and I just I kind of awkwardly kind of do like a little hand raise sort of thing, kind of back up a little bit, and then just nod, and then I turn, kind of like not really knowing how to end the conversation, and then I go out to the farmlands and I begin casting the spell.
Okay, so you easily done. You head out to the farmlands. Spend the next 8 hours casting plant growth. After through the time that you're casting this, occasionally people will who are later in the day they come to consciousness from the partying the night before, and some of them head out to the fields to do a little bit of work. Others see you and they sit beside you for a little bit, not saying anything, of course, and then after a while they go back and go about their own business. And over time, there's sort of a divine light that grows up from the fields as the soil is enriched. And yeah, so that's what you do for the next 8 hours. How about the rest of you? Is there anything you wish to do?
I'll find Sissel. Or I guess we're together.
Slip.
We have to figure out this book thing.
Yes. I want to see how this goes.
All right. What's your argument?
Listen.
I'm listening.
I don't know how to say this without it being meta as fuck. Like,
Try your best.
Just find ways to describe it in world terms.
Mhm.
There's ways to do it. It sound kind of weird, but
here's some things. 1. I attack very often, and it will make me hit harder each time I do it. 2. Can inspire you more often so that you can hit harder and hit more often. 3. Can cast things like hold person better. Things that we might need to deal with people being
Hey, Mo.
problematic.
Oh shit! Hi.
Hi.
They're just arguing who's gonna get the book.
we're in the middle of charisma book argument right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Also, I become much more persuasive.
You are, but don't you think that's a little unfair? I mean, you're so skilled at persuasion, so why wouldn't you give the people who are a little less charismatic a leg up, hmm? Also, it would make me hit harder, and I could cast things like slow much more strongly.
Question.
I know enough about magic to know that this doesn't affect all of your damage spells.
Not all of them.
Which, where are we right now?
You're in
Like,
Umberlee's Embrace. There was a celebration the previous night. Everyone is kind of... most of the townsfolk this morning are nursing a hangover or sleeping in. Goff has gone out to the fields to cast plant growth for the next 8 hours, and the rest of you are to your own devices.
Goff also had a conversation with Coria that happened that you can listen to, after
Yeah.
the recording's up. But yeah. So Goff is technically not with the group right now. He's doing the spell, and then everyone else is together, I guess, unless.
And then Sissel and
Mo-
Wraith are arguing
Yeah.
about the book.
Helen's got a cup of tea and popcorn.
Where'd you get popcorn from?
Who knows?
Popcorn?
Pocket popcorn.
Fire.
Alright,
No.
continue.
Knowing what I know about you and knowing what I know about me, I get the feeling that we're not really going to convince one or the other of our argument.
Do you want to
So-
fight about it?
I mean, I will fight you.
Me.
Helen just like
We could also-
grabs a fistful of popcorn and shoves it into her mouth like that.
But also, if we fight, it's just going to be us counterspelling one another. Over and over and over and over
That's
and over.
true.
I'm already tired thinking about it, actually. Or we could roll a dice.
I don't trust
Um.
your dice. Let's get somebody
You
else's
can
dice.
use anybody else's dice. They don't have to be my dice.
I don't trust you handling your dice.
Jesus Christ.
Let's go get somebody else's dice. Let's go get someone's dice.
Fine, I'll keep my hands where they're fully visible.
Okay, so you're gonna go track down some dice?
Yeah, let's go to your local game store. Get Umberlee's Embrace. Get a set of polyhedral dice.
I'm sure someone gambles around here.
No, I know. I was just making a D&D joke.
Make an investigation check for dice.
Oh, I'm so good at
I'm
investigation.
gonna do one too.
Do like
I
mouthful
actually rolled a
of
natural
popcorn.
20.
Oh,
Nice.
fuck you! I rolled a 14
Okay,
plus
so,
blah blah blah.
You all set out onto the town and
Helen
start
following with popcorn.
looking through the streets. Eventually, you're making your way down one street where you see a couple of old Goliath gentlemen who are out in the morning, early morning, sipping from flagons of mead, and they're rolling some dice on a table.
Hey!
I'm going to lean over one of them and just say, "Hey." Can I borrow one of those?
What do you give me?
A winning smile. And I give one.
Give me a persuasion check.
Don't mind if I fucking do. Hold on, wait.
I'm so
Let's
glad.
see. I rolled a 14, so that's a 26.
Oh my
You're
fuck.
disgusting.
I love us.
So this Goliath, this elderly Goliath man, you get the impression he doesn't get a lot of attention from women, particularly pretty women. So he just, when you smile at him, he just sort of melts a little bit. He's like, he looks over at his companion for a moment. He pushes the dice towards you. Would you like a drink too? And he holds out his.
No, well, usually I'd take you up on that, but we have something to settle. I'll bring this
Oh.
right back.
Okay, come back soon.
Okay.
She just says she would be right back.
All right. What kind of dice is it? Is it just? A D6
They're
or
just
something?
a couple of d6s. Yeah, it's like craps dice basically.
How many? I don't know what that is.
It's
How
two
many?
2d6.
Okay. So, we want to try to see who gets highest number, lowest number. What do you feel?
Highest number, I guess.
Okay. I'm just gonna roll it through.
I am
Yeah.
watching.
I would recommend you roll this through Roll20.
Yeah, I'm rolling it through roll 20.
Okay.
Well, you're going to
Oh
win.
fuck.
Oh. Ooh.
Watch me roll snake eyes.
Oh.
Oh man.
Yeah, ha, ha.
Oh no.
This wouldn't have happened if we used my dice.
Well, I know that. It seems the fates were in my favor here, eh?
Oh
I'm
my god.
gambling for one of your fucking lives. I hope you remember this.
I don't think
I'm going
I don't
to-
think Charisma score helps during those games.
It doesn't.
No, I'm just saying in general with my
Oh.
gambling luck. I'm going to I rolled a natural 20 on a dexterity check. I'm just going to throw the dice over my shoulder and have them land directly on the table that the guys are playing
Okay.
at, and I'm just going to walk away.
All right. The one gentleman looks a little sad that you're walking away. He's like, "Oh, come back."
Oh.
Oh. Then he
Weird old
kind of.
man.
It's okay. You have skills in spades.
Alright. Is there anything else any of you wish to do over the course of the next 8 hours while Goth is casting this spell?
Well, I feel like somebody should start reading her book.
Yeah. I'm just gonna see how long it. What's the name of the item again?
The Tome of Leadership and Influence.
Get the ship and influence.
So I believe you have to read it over the course of 6 days or fewer, and you have to
I
spend
googled it. The
48
first
hours.
thing that comes up is the Crit Roll Wiki.
So over the course of 6 days, you have to spend 48 hours reading the book. So that's essentially 8 hours a day.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
If you start it now, you're going to have to.
Can you take breaks? Or do
You
have
cannot take breaks. It has to be 6 consecutive days or fewer.
Oh.
Oh, you can take it in chunks. So you can.
Like chunks of 8 hours.
You don't have to stay up
Yes.
48.
You don't have to stay up
hours.
48 hours, but on average, you want to do 8 hours of this a day.
Okay.
So if you start now, you have to commit to reading the remaining another 40 hours over the following 5 days, basically.
Mm-hmm. I think. Yeah.
Sorry.
So just gonna park her ass someplace central and just start reading it.
Okay. So you start flipping through the book, and it seems to be a compendium of advice and philosophy on as collected by a number of great kings and leaders of revolutions and armies who have all used their influence, some by force of will, some by just being very, very charismatic, others by force of violence throughout the centuries. Some of it actually, as you're starting to read through it, it also appears that people have added to this over time. So you see a number of different, basically script in it, different handwriting. So you spend the next 8 hours doing that.
Yep, yep.
Okay. Anything else from Hiraeth and Ellen?
I'm just gonna go like exploring, wandering.
Okay.
Before we move on, I want to. I'll have something else that Mel missed. So we had a conversation as a group, like out of earshot of other people, right after we woke up this game, this day in game. So basically, we came to an agreement that until we can find someone, so we're going to go back to Arcadia, but we're not going to talk about the key to anyone at all. We're not going to say that we have it, that we succeeded. We're not, if people, we're going to try to avoid talking about it, because the only people that, as far as we know, as far as we're aware, the only people that know that where the key is in our bag is us. So we're going to try and keep it that way, and we're going to try and find Anna because we don't know where she is. She hasn't communicated with us in a long time. She was gone last time we tried to find her. So we're going to try and basically find her, make sure she's cool, and then we're going to basically ask her to agree to like a zone of truth, or basically like try to make sure that we can trust her. And if we can't, or she refuses, we have to find another path to take. We want to try and, assuming that we can trust Anna and she agrees to it, then we need to find a place we can talk. Like out of, it can't be scryed upon, can't be like listened in upon. We need to find like a private place. This is what we want to do ideally. I mean, it's D&D. I mean, it probably won't go this season, but we want to try and do that. And if we can trust Anna, we can find a place to talk to her. We're going to basically tell her what the problem is. Like we just found, like, we're going to tell her about what happened with the doppelgangers, if that goes well. And if not, then we talk about like, well, we know that some of the like Drak is not involved in any like sort of harbinger conspiracies. We know Alonzo is. I mean, there's no. It would be pretty fucked up if he was like secretly part of that. I mean, they're not people in Arcadia. We also thought that maybe Detective Bowles might also be a person that we could try and interrogate, like asking to like submit to a truth zone. Like, basically, we're talking about people.
You can all worry about this when you get back. You don't have
No,
to.
I'm just telling Mel what the conversation was, so that Ellen is aware. So we know Ellen. Like,
So
Mel
Ellen doesn't
knows
come back
Ellen.
and come back to
Yeah.
Arcadia and be like, "Hey, we got the key!"
Yes, exactly. I don't want to
What's
have there
up,
be like
guys?
a miscommunication.
No,
Because,
And then pulls the key out of the bag and just starts dancing with it
Yeah.
on top of the roof.
Fair enough. Okay.
so we're basically the goal was we need to find someone we can trust, and until we have someone we can trust in the city or elsewhere, we are not going to talk about it. We're just going to leave it in the bag because no one else can get it as long as they don't know where it is, because that's how the bag works. So
Yeah.
that's for the party's plan. That's what's happening. in terms of-
Okay.
All right. So, if there's anything else you wish to do, Ellen, you've been around Umberlee's Embrace, so it's not entirely a very big city.
Yeah, it's more like a stroll, enjoying the city, being
Yes.
like
Enjoying the
not under siege.
enjoying the brisk salt sea air, walking around the fields. You occasionally pass by Goff, who seems to be in meditation as he's casting this spell over the next 8 hours.
I leave behind like some snacks for him.
Thanks.
So I'll say about 8 hours later, Goff, you complete the spell. There's a smell in the air as if the soil has, a freshly tilled soil, essentially. It smells much more potent. You get the sense that the area around you has been enriched, that the spell has been successful, that, in fact, it seems like the creeping corruption that you'd found previously is no longer present.
Yeah, that was like my main goal, was to try and get rid of that, if it wasn't already gone.
Yes, and in fact, a lot of the, all of the agriculture here, even the plants that look like they were withering or sick, that you had investigated before, look robust and healthy now.
Hell yeah. It has a half-mile radius, so I don't know if that covers the whole of the area, but
Half a mile, it could cover. Yeah, that could cover. It more than covers Umberlee's Embrace and probably
okay,
onto the surrounding woodlands a little bit.
sweet.
Okay. So after 8 hours, it's probably 2 p.m. now, because you got up fairly early.
Yeah.
What do you wish to do?
I think Goff, after finishing the spell, takes a moment, just to keep sitting and thinking for a bit, and then kind of walks around, checking like the fruits of his labor, just kind of looking literally and figuratively. I don't know if there's actually fruits or not, but and kind of just paces around a little bit, like, being a fucking hippie, like rolling his hand along trees and plants and stuff. And then he makes his way back into the town, and he finds oh my god, I already forgot what her name was. Nalri, thank you.
Okay.
If she's awake.
Oh, she's awake. It's 2 p.m.
Okay.
So she's outside of her longhouse, speaking with some of the guards.
I just walk up to her if she's not busy.
No, she sees you approaching, and she's very happily welcomes you as she extends a hand.
I return the hand grasp or shake.
The hand grasp, yeah.
That's the forearm grasp kind of thing.
Yeah, the forearm grasp again.
And I say,
I wanted to let you know, as a gift, in return for your hospitality and understanding when we first arrived, I have given a blessing to the land under the guidance of my lady.
She looks surprised at this, and she says, "You've already done so much for us. You didn't need to do that."
Well, to see a land so sick, it did not sit well with me. I wanted to make sure that at least it won't last forever. You have about a year, I think. And maybe by then, come back, or someone else could do it.
Well,
but I just wanted to, through my own way, I wanted to express thanks. You are a strong, kind woman, and I appreciate what you have done.
She smiles at you. Her smile is pretty relaxed at this point. She seems like she's not as on edge as she has been the last few times you've seen her. She says,
Yeah.
"Well, we, people of the Embrace, will forever be in the debt to the Blue Hearts. You will always be welcome here."
My thanks. May the people of the Embrace find a new path, a brighter one than they've had.
She nods. I suppose you and your companions will be leaving us.
Yes, we have many things to attend to. Our journey, wherever it may end, is far from over.
Well, I wish you luck.
I can feel it in my bones. Thank you. And I wish you luck as well. And
And if
a
you
new
ever
chapter.
need a strong sword hand at your side, know that you have allies here.
It is not what I expected to have when I left, but I'm glad to have it. May this be a beginning of a better chapter in the archipelago's history.
and I just kind of nod to her and I think probably kind of shuffle off.
Okay. Alright. So
And,
do you all
That's, I
reconvene?
think, as far as my personal errands I wanted to complete, that's basically all I want. I wanted to do that, and that's pretty much it, I think.
Okay.
I
Alright,
mean,
so you-
unless we're about to leave, and then I'll probably say something to Drock really quick, but...
Okay, so I assume at some point you all reconvene.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you wish to do at this point?
I come back to the group, wherever they are, and I just say,
Well, thank you for your patience. Well, as far as my personal matters are, I am done here.
Same here, I think.
I
Yeah.
suppose I'm ready to return whenever you are.
Okay. I have the book and I scratch Tackle behind the ears. And I find some open space and start drawing the teleportation circle.
Well,
as you're-
are we Are we teleporting or are we riding the boat back? Is the
if you're
Dauntless still
riding
here?
the boat back, it's going to take a week.
Okay, right.
Well, if we ride the boat back, that gives Sissel time to read.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
I guess we didn't discuss that.
Yeah, we did.
So, should we go back quickly, or should we go with the Arcadian ship?
I mean, I've got the book to read, so I'm fine with going by boat, but
Hmm.
How direly do you think we're needed right now?
I could ask.
That
Well-
I think that would be a good idea.
Why don't I try asking Detective Bowles? He was very helpful last time I reached out to him, so...
that might be a good idea. Don't let.
Or maybe Verna. Oh no, we can't. Patty is here.
I mean, Falcon NPC her, but it's not the same.
It would be weird.
We
Yeah.
can text Pat. No.
Hey Patty,
Well, I mean,
how's our
Patrick would need to be briefed on what to
Okay,
say
what
anyway.
are you doing?
Okay, so
Very well, I will ask him what our course of action would be best for the sake of what is going on there. And it's been a while, we don't know what could be going on.
What if he asks
maybe
what
don't-
he is?
Maybe don't give off the fact that we're worried. Just sort of, hi, how is everything in Arcadia? The fact that we're using a sending spell is probably indication that we're worried enough.
I'm going to ask him whether he thinks it would be better for us to be there sooner or later. Is that too vague?
I think that might be a little vague. Just sort of ask him.
I will say we are returning to Arcadia. And ask him I suppose I will ask
If there's
how
anything.
the city is going, I guess.
I suppose.
You could say that
it's-
we are planning on traveling by boat, but if he needs us there faster, we can.
Ellen seems concerned about bringing up the idea that we're worried about something.
Because if I don't want to give off the idea that we
We're
might
aware
be
of something.
suspicious of anything. Yeah, exactly.
That's fine.
Is there someone... What
How about
about
one-
Moira?
Yes, Moira.
Do you think, Sissel, she would respond well to that, or is there any reason...
I mean, I don't know how aware she is of goings on in the city, but I think she.
I mean, if there's something that warrants us coming back, I think everybody would notice. I mean, I hope it's something.
Either we ask Moira or we ask Detective or someone else. The detective would be more knowledgeable of things, I believe, because of his position. But I do not know how I could phrase this message in a way that could not imply even slightly that we were just a bit concerned about the current nature of the city. Because normally we do not ask how the city is doing before we return.
Do we know for sure the detective's even there? Because the last time we saw him, he was.
It's true. He was on the.
He was in the city last I messaged him. Before we called the Arcadians. To help us with everything here. So, I mean, by now he could have left, but he was there. How many days ago was that?
That was 2 days ago. Was it 2 or 3?
Only a few, 2 or 3 days ago.
Okay.
He did not seem concerned by anything when I messaged him. So if anything has happened, it would have been very recent, or he just thought it not necessary to tell us. Through that alone, maybe it could be inferred that there's nothing for us to worry about at the moment. I do not know. Maybe we ask Moira how things are going there, at least in the Snapdragon.
Alright.
Does that seem fair?
I think that's a better course of action.
That sounds
Cicero-
good to me.
Cecil, you say you trust Moira, and by that I will trust her as well. She
Yes.
has no reason to be of ulterior motives, living out in the forest as she did in a swamp.
No, and I've lived with her for over 10 years, so
Aye,
I
very
think
well.
I can trust her.
I will use sending spell.
Okay.
I'll say,
Hello, Moira. We are going to return to Arcadia soon. How are things going? And it seems like we've been away for a while. How are things going in the Snapdragon as well as the city?
After a moment, she replies to you. She says, well, a couple of detectives from the city guard stopped by this morning. Shook everyone up a little bit. They were asking about all of you and about your relationship with the Chancellor.
Did you get an?
oh fuck, that's right. I can't. I mean,
Yep.
I guess I'll use another spell because.
Okay.
Did they give names? What did they? Was there anything specific they asked about? Did they seem threatening?
One of them seemed a little threatening. His name was Detective Shelby. His partner, who's the lead, she seemed a little more professional. She left a card.
One more time, I will send.
Is anyone hurt? Is it safe for us to return? Should we return sooner by teleportation, or should we return by boat?
I don't know. It's up to you, but they were asking a lot of questions.
Okay. I will end it there.
End call.
Yeah, because I don't want to. I'm not going to use another spending spells. Let's just say thank you. No offense to Moira. Okay, so I use sending what 3 times?
3 times, yep.
Okay. What a fucking costly messaging system.
Well, you don't have telepathy yet.
That's what happens
I
when you
know.
call.
That's a 7th level spell.
That's what happens when you call long distance.
Yeah. I don't. Can clerics even do that? Anyway.
No, sorcerers can, I think.
I turn to everyone. I say, I worried look on my face. I guess you can't see because I have the mask on. I always forget that I have the mask on when I describe Goff's facial features.
Well, body language.
Yeah, I kind of tensed up and I'm like,
Moira seemed worried. She said
What happened?
2 detectives came to the Snapdragon, asking many questions. One was named
About-
Shelby, another was not named, but she described them as more professional. She said that they were looking for us
Why?
and
would
our
they
relation
be
to the
looking-
Chancellor.
Oh,
no.
dear.
So
They-
it's already started.
She said that it seemed kind of threatening. No one's hurt, but my guess is that they are either looking for the Chancellor and they want us to find her for them, or something worse.
Or they're looking for us directly.
Do we want to go to a?
It seems like speed is important.
Do we want to go back to Arcadia?
What choice do we have? We need to find Anna.
Do you want to check in on her and see how, like, ask her if she's safe? If I were Anna, I would not be in Arcadia if people are looking specifically for her. And remember, the other golf, the future golf. Where are we, by the way?
we're still on
In
the
the clearing.
we're near the Emily's Embrace, I think.
Okay. Where are we? Somewhere we're not being.
You're in a
we're-
clearing. You're out in the woods somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Sorry. I just.
No, I did the same thing
paranoid
earlier. It's
Now
fine.
that.
No, yeah, we should all be paranoid. It's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so. Anna. If I were Anna, I would be hiding anywhere that isn't Arcadia. If. I can only assume that she was aware of the danger to herself. And all we know is that the Black Heart's Anna was somehow killed, and we know how we've all seen how powerful she is. So,
Yes. I can send her a message. But last time I did, she did not reply. She got it. She chose to not respond.
It could
I
be
can try
worth
to
a
make
shot.
I can try to make it urgent or make it seem like that she must respond. But if we cannot do too many more messages. If something happens today, if we go back, we teleport, and something bad is happening, I need my strength. I cannot do too
Of
many more
course.
messages, so we must be concise. I've already spent too many, and Okay.
do we want to ask her if she knows who's trying to kill her?
We don't know if we don't know anything. We don't know anything about what's happening to her, why she's
I'm
responded, or where
fairly
she's gone.
certain someone is trying to kill
It is
her.
it is a fair guess, but we don't know anything until we find out for sure. So I'm going to ask her if she's safe, and if she's in danger, if someone's trying to find her. I'm going to ask her these things.
Mhm.
That's fair.
Yes.
That sounds good to us.
Is there anything else you want me to mention? I can only say so much.
We already said. Sorry, I like blanked out. Somebody said we're telling her the Arcadian detectives are looking for her, right?
I don't know if I can fit that into the message.
It
Okay.
might not be wise to.
Let us be simple and vague at first.
Okay.
Give me a second. Okay, I'm gonna send a message to Anna.
Okay.
Stonebrook. This is important. We need to know where you are, if you are safe, if you are in danger.
That's your message.
I'm thinking. We are. It is not something we can discuss easily. But we wish to see you, and we want to know that you are okay.
Is that your mess? Okay.
Yeah.
Goth, as you cast your sending spell, there's no response, but this is different. Last time that there was no response, you got the distinct impression that Anna received it but just chose not to respond. This time, it's as if your spell is hitting a brick wall and fizzles out before it reaches its destination.
Does that does it give me the impression that the person's not there, or as if it's being blocked by something?
It's being blocked by something.
So I don't get the impression she's dead.
Correct.
Oh. Damn it.
What happened?
What?
Something is blocking it. She's alive. She's not dead, I don't think. I didn't get the impression. But I felt as though the spell hit a wall of some kind.
Some sort of anti-magic field, like what Sissel dealt with.
Likely.
Or like what?
Scrying will in the same way, I
Will
suppose.
not work. If something as simple as a sending spell will not get to her, scrying likely won't either.
I mean, Arcadia has scryers.
She's probably trying to protect herself if what we assume is true. But how could we find her if we cannot send her a message?
Somebody has her.
Or
That's-
she's hiding.
Or she's hiding from
someplace where she
scries.
knows that.
I just think.
Maybe she's
Ugh.
not on this plane of existence.
Would a different plane of existence block me from using a sending spell?
I don't know.
I think
Let me
the
check.
spell would just fizzle.
I think it would fizzle.
Spell sending.
Even
You
to
can
other
send the
places
message
that-
across any
yeah.
distance, and even to
Yep.
other planes of existence.
Yep. So
But there's a 5% chance the message won't arrive on a different plane. But that's not what happened here. I don't think.
yes, that is not what happened here.
So, no, she is. It's not that. It would work even if she was someplace else. Or it would have a great chance of working. This is not what happened. Something blocking. Either she is protecting herself, or someone is keeping her from contacting someone else. I would prefer the former, but it's either way. We have no way of finding out where she is. This is
Okay.
very difficult. Okay. So, we don't have a way of finding Anna. If they're looking for us, or ties to the Chancellor, it may be dangerous for us to show our faces.
I think we
this
should
is
ask the
very-
Arcadians on the ship if they know anything.
About
They've been at sea for a
That's
while
true.
fighting. I'm not sure if they'd have any idea.
That's
and we
fair.
don't know.
Also, I would rather not tell. Just tell people in the Arcadian military. Who, like, they might be trustworthy, but
Why don't
I don't. I don't want to have to burden them with any information that they shouldn't have to keep.
Could try asking the detective. Could ask him if he knows if he has heard anything about about Anna.
That might be beneficial.
It's also. I'd rather do it in person when we can after we've made sure that he's
On our
okay.
side.
Hmm.
But how do we get there? It sounds like there are people looking for us. And I don't get I've never had any good feeling about someone looking for me, and it's never turned out well. So, what do we do about that? How do we get to the detective in person when there are other detectives likely working alongside him or near him?
Correction.
work for the city
Brief
guard,
correction.
Oh,
Brief correction. Moira mentioned city. Yeah, I think Sissel was about to say. Yeah, Moira mentioned city guard detectives. not military.
oh, is he
detectives.
private? Oh,
He's military.
okay. So what's the difference between city guard and military?
There are different branches. The city guard handles domestic affairs within the city. The military has a much greater jurisdiction, although they defer to the city guard.
Okay, never mind. Well, I guess I don't know. I guess. Okay, I'll say.
How do we speak to him in person when there are a different kind of a detectives looking for us? If they're any good at what they do, they'll likely find us quickly. They probably... I don't know how they do their jobs. It seemed like when we worked with Bowles before, he had a very thorough operation and he had a lot of people he could rely on.
Hmm.
No, I've never gotten the impression that he was a manipulated type. But we have to be certain you're right. I want to believe that he will work with us.
As do I, but at this point in time, I don't like our chances of. I don't want to take any chances.
We could potentially ask the underground.
Mama?
We do share grounds with information brokers.
And
We
what
do.
was the neck man? He may...
Bruno the neck.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a strange name. Well, okay, we need it. Well, so finding Anna is not as simple as we'd hoped. That plan is already out the window, as you say.
No, but we could potentially find Bowles and or get a better read on the state of the city.
Maybe I did not think about those that work outside of the law. Big Mama, as they call her, or even Bruno. Maybe they could tell us something. But I still feel wary of Bruno. I'm not sure I trust him.
Oh, he's shady. He'll probably ask for a favor in return or something to that effect.
But I did like Mama. She seemed more of a genuine sort, even though I'm sure she does many underhanded things in her line of work.
It seems like she's been taking care of everybody under her. She just seems
Yes.
like.
What were the
I trust
Jackals? What was their thing? Because I know the
casino,
Is it
Gambling.
gambling?
Gambling. Okay.
and also I think they took over the
They took over some territory or something?
They took
The-
over, I believe, some
the
prostitution.
sharks.
Yeah, they took
Prostitution
over
from the
the-
Chartu things.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
okay.
remember like
Now it's Big Madam Agostini.
Big Madam.
and I remember she like takes care of the people, like all the people who work under her.
Mhm.
Yeah, one of those crime bosses.
No, you be good to Mama. Mama's good to you.
Well, We need to... Okay, so we need to come up with a plan, and then a backup plan in case the first plan doesn't work. And if the backup plan doesn't work, we have to think on our feet, I suppose. So, who are you trying to get to first? The detective?
I think Detective Bowles first.
If
Yes.
we cannot get to him, or he does not pan out, he refuses to agree to our terms, or what have you, maybe we have to really go even deeper into the city, find Big Mama, or
Or the
Neck Man.
I love that this is what we're calling him.
And I do not like to say it, but I worry about the people that in our home.
The people we employ.
I worry that there is someone or multiple people there that could have eyes intended for other sources to relay information. We did screen them, as you call it, but I don't know. I am worried. I'm worried that not even there is safe.
Which we definitely need to outfit one of our rooms with,
We do.
perhaps an anti-magic field, like a permanent one.
But it will take time to do that. Will it not?
I know. But,
Yeah, it's not within reach at the moment.
I know. How, just gonna ask her spell how long would it normally take? If we were to start?
Building an
I have a
anti-magic,
feeling I have no idea.
building an anti-magic field, like for a room or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what I
I
know
have
that.
to look at the stronghold rules. Because there is a cost and a time sink.
Oh, there's that's in the stronghold?
I'm
rules?
pretty sure.
Yeah, no, it's a thing that we can do. It just takes time and money.
I know.
Warded or spellbound. Benefit: this room is constantly under the effect of one of the following spells: alarm, animate object, anti-magic field, circle of power, magic circle, reverse gravity, unseen servant, or zone of truth. It takes 7 days to construct, and the cost varies. For an anti-magic field, it would cost 4,500 gold.
Yeah.
Also, we
I
need
feel-
to make sure that we have enough gold to pay our folks.
Yeah.
Well, we just got a bunch of gold,
That's
so
true.
I feel like
Also,
I feel
Bowles
like,
owes us money still.
yeah. How much does he owe us?
Like 1,000.
Okay, cool.
It's not that much
Money.
compared to how much you have right now.
another drop.
It will take, before we can create a safe space in the Snapdragon, it will take us some time. We also would probably want to oversee every aspect of this construction, at least, because we do not know. I worry that someone could be working on the project that's trying to give us a weak spot.
That could sabotage it, yes.
We need to make sure that it is genuine, and then we need to test it to make sure that it not be scryed upon.
I could definitely I could watch the workers. I'm fairly good with looking into like watching people's behaviors and seeing if anything's suspicious, but as for the arcane
also-
side, someone else will have to take that. The
also have the
technical-
medallion that lets you detect thought.
I do.
Oh,
But
I don't
I
like
mean,
how
yeah, it's complicated, but I would very much rather have that room than not.
Oh, I mean, just all of this.
Hmm.
We shouldn't have to. I feel as though we shouldn't have to worry this much about going back to what we're supposed to call our home.
Perhaps
Feels
can I also just suggest we don't tell the military that we're going?
going back to Arcadia.
If we choose to teleport back, yes.
They will find out either way. We're gone.
That's
If we go
true.
without telling, they will ask where we are, and then it can be assumed.
That we. Oof. What if we took the boat back and made it seem like we were checking in on, say, Jerez's family, and just teleported back from there, as soon as we're out of sight?
What? Oh,
I don't understand. What?
Um,
just say we're checking on them and not go?
Yeah. Just tell the
Oh,
the
so
arcade. Yeah. So what I'm saying, like, we tell the arcade, like, we take the boat back, tell the Arcadian, like, ask where we can be dropped off, and act as if we're gonna like check in
You
on.
will not be dropped off for a week. I'm telling you that right now. If you take the boat back, there's nowhere to stop.
We can teleport from the boat also, if need be.
We could.
I worry about.
We,
Taking so much time.
we could take the boat. Oh, I just don't want it to seem like we're in Arcadia. Does that make sense?
I understand and I agree, but as far as we know, Anna, who could be on our side, is in danger, or I don't know, or she's trying to hide. We need to talk to her. She is the one person above all. If she is with us, we need to speak to her. And if she's not, we need to know that she's not. But we
I
can't know
feel like-
anything because we cannot talk to her right now. We don't know where she is.
Given the reactions,
And waiting a
of-
week could mean worse things if she is in trouble.
given the way our alternate selves were talking about how she died, I feel like she might actually be on our side.
I felt the same, but we have to be thorough if we find her.
Agreed.
I think so too.
And is there magic? Oh, and is there magic that can make someone appear like Anna but isn't Anna?
I mean, there are many spells that can.
So we need to
Confer
make sure
disguise
if we
or
find
illusion.
her. So if we need to somehow make sure if we find her, it's her.
Oh, of
And-
course.
I will be able to tell.
Ah, yes, that would be good. Even if, I remember one of your spells actually transformed someone's form, like how you turned Roscoe into that giant lizard thing. Would you be able to see that?
I have a
That's not
spell
an
which
illusion.
I have a spell which lets me see the true nature of anything.
That would be perfect.
No.
All right.
I just say we go back to Arcadia. To save from the
should we-
detective.
Should we drop by the general and tell him we're heading off to Crag? To I was about to say Craghammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, different game.
Oh god, but sorry, my brain is just blanking. And
Crankshaft?
tell them we're heading to Crankshaft just to check on Hidate's family there. Or wait, yeah, are they in Crankshaft?
No,
Or check on Hidate's dad.
They're, they're outside.
they're in the countryside somewhere at this point.
Okay, we're heading to Crankshaft because that's closer to where Hidate's family is. Perhaps we should, and then we'll just head off from there. Like,
So,
just inform the general that way, as far as the Arcadian intelligence is concerned, we are
Do we need
not.
to make the lie very complicated because they can scry on us and realize that we're lying pretty quick?
Ah, that's true. Okay, let's just head out.
We don't have the time to think about it. We can
hold
just-
on.
We
Okay.
are in a position where we both, if we are, let me rephrase that. If we're going towards a position where we are setting ourselves apart from the Arcadian military, we hold cards and they hold cards. We don't necessarily need to stoop to any level or justify anything more than we need to.
We'll just tell them we don't need a ride, and we'll go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and to head out without us. And we'll be okay. I think that should be enough of an explanation, right?
yes.
We're all adults.
Mhm.
Our last
But-
sea voyage didn't go very well, so I feel like it makes sense.
But
Mhm.
we still face a problem. We need someplace safe where we can talk
I'll be right back.
to
Okay.
talk to the detective or someone else. And we need to construct this place because we do not know of any other places like that that exist that we could get into.
I mean,
And do we just wait before we try and find him until this construction is done?
Either that, or we just kind of make do. We go someplace where we trust, and I can cast a spell on myself to where I will know if somebody starts to look.
That is fair.
that
Would be it will enable us to move quickly and work quickly at the cost of some strength of our own. But it is manageable.
And then in
we're
the
waiting.
meantime, we should definitely get working on building the room itself.
Yes, but we cannot wait for the room to be done because it seems like
No.
things are very delicate right now.
Of course.
I don't know we don't know anything about what's going on. We don't know where Anna is, why she's gone, or why we cannot talk to her. And we don't know. We need to get to a place where we can trust somebody. Because right now we can't trust anyone.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Alright, what are you doing?
when we get back, what is our plan?
When we get back, one of us should go start canvassing, getting that anti-magic field room up. Another of us should definitely go try to. Maybe a group of us can go look up Detective Boyle. No, Boyle.
Balls.
Balls.
You're thinking of
Sorry.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I'm thinking of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We need to find Detective
Oh my
Peralta
god, if he was
immediately.
Detective Boyle, I'd be so mad.
If I believe that if we're going to go talk to Detective Bowles, that I and Harith, at the minimum, should be there. Because someone needs to be able to cast the zone of truth, and and Harith needs to be able to see all things, so that if someone is scrying on us, she will know.
Of course.
And then whoever else wishes to be there. But we need at least us for the spells we must cast.
I can get the
No.
anti-magic room set up if need be, and also maybe get some reading done in the meantime.
That sounds good.
I believe it is ideal that we are never alone. So, if Cecil, if you are to stay back in the to deal with that, someone should be with you. Roscoe or
Roscoe
Maito.
volunteers.
Oh, good.
Roscoe, you will stay with Cecil, and I don't know, and
He
then
barks.
Maito can stay or go with us, whatever she wishes.
I'm not
She'll
gonna tackle with
stay at
me
the
too.
Pepper Snack Dragon.
Or is at
Okay.
least a good intimidator?
So Maito and Roscoe will make sure that they have your back. Ellen, I suppose you will. Well, I imagine you, with your nature, you would like to be where the detective is.
Yes. And then whenever I'm at the Snapdragon, I can scrutinize the workers
Yes.
as they're working. Yes. All right. Sounds like a plan. Let's just tell the general that we're going out ahead, and then head out, perhaps.
When we do get back, the moment we get back, what is our first goal? Should we talk to Moira first, since she seems so shaken?
Yes, I think we should talk to Moira, perhaps talk with the staff, make sure they're all right. I'll be on the lookout for anything to see if any of them seem like they might, as much as I would hate to see it, any of them might end up selling us out to the city guard.
I look to Cecil. Cecil,
Hmm.
is there any way that you and Moira could communicate that is another language, or a form of communication that is unique to yourselves, that would be hard to understand through others' eyes?
I can speak Elvish, but
Can she?
obviously if...
She's an elven woman, so...
Oh, was Moira Elven? I didn't know that. Okay.
Well, that is...
I mean, I can speak that one language that is written on all of the stuff, but I don't know if Mara can.
No, she can't.
I can. Well, as an investigator, I've ended up having to speak a bunch of sort of code that, like, I suppose is fairly common in the underground.
I am realizing a problem.
Mhm.
Again, another one. What? Our whole plan could be known to someone right now. How often are we being scryed upon?
I haven't sensed any.
It would not
Anyone
come to you.
trying?
It is a magic. It would require.
I haven't asked any of you for wisdom saves. You would have known.
Oh, okay. We would have known even if without the seeing spell.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
If it failed, yes.
Okay.
Actually, if it fails, I think you can see the sensor.
The sensor or the person?
The sensor. The
Uh-huh.
little invisible sensor that.
If we succeed on the check,
Yes. That's what I
succeed
meant.
on the save. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, then I guess never mind. I rewind a bit of that then, because I didn't know that we would know for sure if there was like a situation like that. Okay, never mind. I didn't say any of that. Sorry. What were we just talking about? We were just saying we were going to talk to Moira.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you asked me if we knew any languages unique to us.
Okay.
Did you know I can speak Halfling? You ever get really bored and learn an entire language by yourself?
Oh yeah, I learned gnome that way.
Hey.
I know
I can speak
Orcish.
Gnomish, too.
Ah,
Wouldn't expect that, but I never use it for anything. Strange.
I love how we're just like, yeah,
Here's
Here's
all these
this
meta
actually-
game things that we picked that have meant nothing to us.
Well, okay. When we talk to Moira, we should try to be. We should not be too detailed, but I suppose that we would be likely aware if someone's trying to spy on us.
mhm.
And maybe it won't be as. Maybe all of this caution won't be as necessary as we think, but we cannot take chances. We need to fulfill what was been asked of us. We need to not trust anyone until we're certain they can be trusted. So, and I think, unless there's anything else that anyone can think of, I think it's maybe time for us to go.
Okay. I start. Wait, we're supposed to.
We're supposed to talk to the.
Yeah, we're supposed to.
Yeah.
Let's go tell them that we're going, and then we can.
So you go and you track down the Arcadians. You head out to the beach side, to the harbor, where you see a number of the large Arcadian ships loading, getting ready to set sail. General Vogel is standing there talking to a couple of his subordinates, as they all seem to be preparing to set sail for the long, or at least a number of them for the long journey home back to Arcadia. When he sees you all approach, and you see a large smile on his face again, he squints at you a little bit, sort of like that smiling squint kind of thing. He says,
Like how cats slow blink.
Yeah.
and he says,
Ah, my friends. Good to see you again.
And you too.
Are you here to make the journey back?
We are here to wish you well and wish you off on a safe journey. We will make our way back on our own.
Oh,
I'm
Very well
the
then.
resident fast travel here.
I am sorry to say we will not join you, but we have we have a business of our own that we must attend to.
I understand.
A week on the sea does not sound so great after what happened to us on our way here.
Yeah, and some
So-
of us aren't all that hot on the ocean to begin with.
Oh.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, we will see each other again.
Yes, and
We have prisoners to escort back to Arcadia for trial, and a number of us, Admiral Tempest and a number of her ships will be remaining in the archipelago for a time in order to broker diplomacy with the people here and make
Very well.
arrangements.
when the boat that carries my brother arrives in the city and he has been put in his cell or wherever you have him, let me know. I would, despite what I cannot believe I'm saying it, but I will likely like to speak to him once he is there.
I'll send word. But
My
he will
thanks.
be under heavy guard. He will be.
Ah, yes.
He will be in the brig of the Dauntless for the next week's travel.
Yes.
He watched around the clock.
He is a cunning and dangerous one, and it is ideal you let no weakness show.
I will take your advice to heart. Well then, if you're heading off, then safe travels. Thank you for all you've done once again.
And to you.
He nods graciously.
I like him.
I do too.
He's not so bad. Okay, and I twirl the chalk. Are we ready to do this?
Let's
Uh,
go.
Let's do it.
Alright,
Let's...
I draw the fucking circle.
I'm ready to smell onion.
Sissel, as you draw out the careful sigils for your teleport back home to the Dapper Snack Dragon. After a minute of casting the spell, the familiar purple portal with the vision of home appears before you. And as you all begin heading in, Goff, I'd say that at one point, as you're heading into the portal, you look over your shoulders toward one of the nearby sand dunes, and you see Koria and Jarak standing there, watching you go, and they wave.
I forgot to talk to Direct before I left.
There's a 6-second.
I know. I
There's
forgot. I
exact-
realized now I forgot to talk to him like I intended to do. But I just as I'm walking and I look back, I briefly kind of hold my fist up, kind of clenched with the blue heart symbol on it, and look at him, and just then turn and walk along with everyone else.
Blue heart salute.
Yeah.
At last, you make it back to Arcadia. You come into your ritual room. The portal closes behind you. And no sooner do you enter as you hear footsteps behind you, and you turn just in time, Hiraeth, as someone lunges towards you and like grabs you up in a big hug, and you see that it's Cecil Wizard.
Oh,
Oh.
my god.
That scared the shit out of me.
He is
My hammer's up in the air like.
he is bawling. He's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're back. There
Oh,
were some scary people here.
Oh.
Startle us.
what happened?
I was about
Are you
to
back for good?"
I was about to hit you, boy. Be careful.
Boy.
Boy.
I've been playing a lot of God of War. Sorry.
What kind of scary people are you talking about?
Look, Moira would know more, but there were a couple of detectives from the city guard. They were looking for you. I wanted to ask you some questions.
Was their intent ill?
Moira didn't seem to think so, but it was a little scary. They were asking about the Chancellor and about your relationship with her and what you knew about her.
Did they seem more concerned with us or with her?
With her.
Very well. I'm sorry to have worried you, Cecil. More careful. We
Please don't go so long again.
We're
didn't have
alright.
a choice.
You're alright.
I feel like... I hope that's the furthest we'll go for a while.
He's still clinging to Hiraeth, by the way.
How is he like her height?
He's an elf, so he's taller than her.
Very tall.
Sort of like hunched over, like
I-
scooping her up, basically.
Oh. Cecil, let the poor dwarf down.
Okay. He doesn't actually pick her up. He's just
Oh.
Oh, okay.
bear
I thought
hug.
he was like...
No,
I don't
no.
think Heraith would like it if she
Teddy
thinks
bear.
that.
No, he's a scrawny little wizard. He's not going to be able to pick anybody up.
Thank you for your concern.
He kind of sniffles a little bit and he
Listen,
I kneel
dries
down.
his cheeks.
I kneel down, and I awkwardly place a hand on his shoulder.
if we're gone a long time again, would it help you if I sent you a message to let you know things are okay?
What?
Okay, next time I will send you a message just for you, Cecil.
Thank you.
But please, next time, we're the only ones to come out of this portal, right?
Yes.
Well, if we do come out of it again, don't jump on us. Things get a little bit scary out there. We might be ready to fight at any moment, and I almost hit you. So just don't scare us like that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I ruffle his hair.
He sniffles a little bit.
Now, I'm sorry, I know you just got back, but we have things we must attend to. Stay to your studies, and we will be around.
Okay. And he goes back to his chair and he picks up his homework books and he starts reading.
Cecil, you got any kind of sending spell or something?
No.
Well,
Oh, wait.
oh,
I think
Cecil.
Cecil, not Cecil.
Yeah. Shit.
No, I skipped that lecture.
Oh,
Okay, well,
how much is the ink and paper to copy it down? I'm pretty sure you can go to the.
It's a third level spell, so how much money is that? It's like 100 gold per level, I think.
300 gold.
Yeah.
Then the cost of the paper.
For the cost of the paper and the ink, it would be 300 gold to learn that spell.
Well,
You also don't get the impression he's high level enough to really learn that yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Um,
when you
I'm
get. Oh, sorry. Go.
Sorry, hold on. I'm just gonna say I'm being right back. I'm just gonna use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, well, whenever you think you can learn it, let us know if you need if you need help. I suppose let one of our arcane casters know. I would be of no help, but they might be able to help you with that. Golf knows it already.
Okay. Do I need to go to church to learn it?
I don't think so. I think you'll be able to learn it and just sort of you use books, right? That's how
Yes.
yeah, I'm fairly certain you'll be able to find the spell and copy it into the book.
Okay.
And then and I think it's probably like the actual casting is similar.
Cecil,
alright.
I just want you to be able to have a way to communicate with us if something goes awry, so we can get here as fast as possible.
All right. I'll study harder.
Good boy.
It's a good lad. Good boy.
And he immediately puts his nose in the book and starts reading feverishly.
All right. Should we wait for Tom?
Well, what are you planning to do at this point?
I'm planning to check on the kids.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go check on Moira.
All right. What time is it at this point? It's still a little after 2.
Is there a time difference?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say there's not at least not in this area. Actually, no. It's further west, so it'll probably be like an hour earlier, I'd say.
Time travel!
So probably close to 1:30 or so at this point in Arcadia. You, Ellen, head up to the top floor of the Dapper Staff Dragon. Make your way out to the courtyard where you find Ilarin and Luma. They are hard at work practicing at the archery range.
Hello.
And
Hello.
as soon as they see you, Ellen, they immediately drop their bows and they run up to you and give you the biggest hug.
Oof. Oh, this is a great welcome. Hey, I'm sorry it's been so long. I know I haven't been gone for 2 weeks before. How have you two been?
We've been fine. Don't ever be gone that long again.
I'm definitely don't plan to be. Have I sort of look around and just say, so and they're both rogues, so in like, I'm talking in Thieves' Cant now.
Hmm.
Like, so to anybody else, it sounds like we're talking about like the weather or like how good the food
Yeah.
has been at the Dapper Snapdragon.
Yep.
And I've just been like, and I'm just gonna be like, so I in Thieves' Cant, how I heard something went down today.
Luma looks to you and she says, yeah, it was just a couple of detectives showed up. Really pretty lady and this really trashy looking guy. I guess they were partners.
Asking about the Chancellor, I hear?
I didn't hear much of it. I didn't really talk to them. I kind of stayed out of the way and watched.
That's fair.
Mostly spoke to Moira.
Right. Did you manage to sneak close enough to see anything?
I was a little too afraid to try it.
That's fair. That's fair. You shouldn't be in any more danger than you need to. But something happened while we were at the islands, and there is more danger in Arcadia than we first thought. Someone high up is plotting something. We don't know what.
Do you think
But-
that those detectives were here?
Possibly. But be very careful, especially around the city guard now.
Okay. All right, Mom. And Alarin kind of stands up on his tippy toes and tries to give you a little kiss.
I lean down and let him.
Okay. All right. Sissel, so you're going to talk to Moira.
Yeah.
So what's happening? Where is everyone just going off and saying hi to people?
Yeah.
Could I go with Sissel, or is this a thing that Sissel
Sure.
wants to do?
No,
by
you
herself?
can go along
Yeah.
if you want.
No, yeah. Is that cool if Scoff's also going to see Moira?
No, it's not cool. No, yeah, it's cool.
Oh, I don't know.
It's cool.
I don't know. I don't know your business. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
fine.
All right. So you head over to the herbalist's hut and you find Moira is outside. She's picking some fresh flowers and other herbs off of the garden.
Moira.
She kind of bundles her cloak around her a little bit as she sees you, and she just rushes up towards you, and she just scoops you up in a big hug.
Oh! Hi, we're back.
I didn't expect you so soon.
Well, we figured it might be better sooner rather than later.
Well, it's good to see you. It's good. I feel safer knowing that you're all back.
Mm-hmm. Are you okay?
Yeah, a little shaken up. That's all.
I heard there was some eventful happenings.
Yeah. She hold on, and she digs around the folds of her cloak, and she produces what looks to be a small slip of paper. She hands it to you,
Oh.
and you look on it, and it looks to be like a business card essentially. It looks like contact information for someone named Christina Blakemore, and the subtitle of it says Senior Detective Major Crimes.
Okay, that's ominous.
She says, yeah, so the woman and her partner, detectives from the city guard, they stopped by. They were asking a lot of questions about you and your relationship to Chancellor Stonebrook, and it looked like they may have some questions for all of you. And I don't think that they were looking for you in particular. They just wanted to ask you a few questions about the Chancellor.
Alright.
She seems very nice. Her partner,
Well.
not so much.
It is one thing to seem, another to be. We came quickly because the tone you responded, it seemed concerning.
Well, wasn't expecting it. It's hard when you've lived out in the woods most of your life to deal with the law.
I am
Sorry if I gave the wrong impression.
No, it is better we're here sooner. Either way. Sorry that you had to deal with it, but I must ask. Look at Cecil for a second. Can you recall what the questions were that they asked you?
They wanted to know if you've spoken to her recently. They wanted to know about when you would be back. If the Chancellor has had you do anything recently. If she's compensated you in any way for any services.
Oh,
There seems to be something going on, and I'm not sure what.
I kneel down, very low, like to make sure that I'm like, and I kind of like lean in, sort of like a whisper range.
something dangerous is happening. It may be subtle now. We experienced something absolutely bizarre when we were out there at the archipelago. We were worried Anna might be in danger or be hiding herself. I tried to send her a message, but it did not reach her. She was not as if she was dead, as if a wall was blocking my message. We are worried that we cannot trust many, and I trust you because Cecil trusts you. But
I don't know. I'm just keep to myself mostly. It's
as you should. This is not something that concerns you. You do not need to know much more. I'm just letting you know that why we are concerned.
well, you're back now, so
Yes.
I'm a lot more at ease.
Thank you for doing what you could while we were gone. But I am sorry. I do not wish to interrupt your reunion any longer. I just wanted to see you and make sure that you were okay. You were not hurt. You just seemed so shaken.
And I kind of,
But I'm going to go tend to the guard and or take a look.
and I kind of back away, kind of like gesturing a hand out, so like I'm no longer interrupting the space between you and Cecil and Moira.
Okay.
And I walk off towards the tree.
Okay. Cecil, she sort of looks toward you expectantly.
Expectantly of what? Oh,
As just seeing you have more to say.
Sorry, I didn't know if I felt like I kind of interrupted the conversation, so I was
no.
just trying to back away from that.
You
Sorry.
augmented the conversation. We were both talking about the same thing.
I know, but still.
Later on, I might ask for your help in finding someone to augment one of our rooms.
I don't know how much help I could be. I don't know that many people in the city, but
Yeah.
I could try.
We'll figure something out. We've been looking to maybe make one of them a little more secure.
Should I be worried?
No, not for now. It's just the precaution.
Okay. Well, it's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too.
She gives you a big hug again.
I hug her back.
All right. Goff, as you are taking a look at the tree, it's made a lot of progress in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's probably at the point where, if you wish, you could turn this into a dedicated shrine if you want to create.
I do want to do that. When I saw that big 15G, I was like, I could spend some of that on a shrine.
So that can be something you consider for the future. But it's certainly at the point where you can do that now.
Did I ask Felania what goddess or like any deity that she followed?
She follows Miliki, the guardian of the forests.
Who has a good relationship with Elda. They're like sisters.
Yes.
I don't know if they're actually sisters, but they're
Oh
like
my god,
they're
they were
allied.
sisters.
I don't think they're actually sisters.
They're allied. They're
Oh
like
my god,
friends.
they were allies.
Hold on.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Relationships.
I don't know if they have that relationship.
Oh, Eldath's considered Malikia's sister, and together with her, she served Sylvanas loyally. I don't know who Sylvanas is. I guess Goff should probably know who that is. God of nature. Okay, well, that's not important, right? I was just
Miliki
curious.
is a neutral good.
Yeah.
For the Forest Queen is what she's known as.
Yes. Is she in the garden right now?
Felania, she's out near the walls.
Doing her shift.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I just I like kind of run my hands along the trees, like it's been kind of built in that kind of like dome thing at the bottom,
Yes.
and then kind of grows up into the tree at the top.
Mhm.
And I'm like just kind of taking stock of the space, and
It's a very, very sturdy tree with
yeah,
very solid roots in the ground. It is at this point probably larger than the 5-story buildings that surround the courtyard.
hell
Yes.
So essentially, when you're outside of your compound, you can see the
yeah. That's what I wanted to
tree.
happen.
You can see the canopy of the tree from far off.
Yeah,
It's just this
Is it-
piece of nature that's just
Yes.
amidst all this urban setting.
just like golf. Is it fully grown or is it still growing?
It's fully grown
Okay.
at this point.
I just look to Roscoe and I say,
I think it's I think it's about time we honored Eldath here, don't you?
Barks.
Well, we did get a sizable pile of gold, so maybe that is within reach now. Maybe there's at least one kind and good thing to look forward to, considering all of the current situation we're in.
Wags his tail. You can't really.
I
have
know.
too many
I'm just talk. I don't talk to enough, so I'm trying to.
All right. So as you're all
Sorry, can I do one more thing?
sure.
I'm gonna go up to Felania on the wall and like look out with her and just say, "Hey, Felania,
Yes.
if I give you a flower, could druidic magic like replicate it and make more of it grow around it?"
If I had, if there are seeds, certainly. If I can extract some seeds from it.
I don't know if it.
IRL, I have no fucking clue how flowers work.
I mean, Goff has done that. He's replicated Cerulean Sunburst. I don't know if he had I never really thought about if he had Caesars to bud, but I mean, Goff's not even.
I'll
a
say it's
druid.
possible. I'll say it's possible.
So I pull out. I reach into my cloak and pull out a flower, a blue flower that I picked while we were on the before we left on the island, and say, "Do you think you can like, replicate this around the tree?" Goth is particularly fond of these, and I'd like it, and I think it would be a little piece of home for him.
She takes the flower from you and she looks it over. She seems to, pull back a few of the petals and take a look at it. And after a moment, she nods and says, "I think I can do it."
Thank you.
And she smiles.
Yeah, I smile back. Alright, so
All right. So, is there anything else you all wish to do as you're reacclimating yourself to your stronghold and to the city?
How soon do we need to pay everyone again?
Ask me that later.
Okay.
Oh, that'll be something
Alright.
that we can worry about at the end of the session.
Okay.
I don't have that information right now.
Okay. Trying to think. Anything else? No, I mean I don't think there's anything else big that I needed to talk to anyone about.
All right. So, what are you all doing right now then? What are you planning to do?
shall we split up and go and do our thing.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
Very well.
Alright, so teams of Sissel, Mito, and Roscoe, and me, Hadaeth, and Goff.
All right.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So, who's doing what here? So, Hiraeth, Ellen, and Goff, you're heading to speak with Detective
Detective
Bowles.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice.
before we do that, should we discuss if we should probably, when do we want to check in with City Guard? Because if we don't do this, it'll look a little suspicious.
Oh, like tell them that we're here? Does it like openly?
No, I mean, didn't
Do we
Moira,
usually do that?
We don't.
no,
usually
didn't
do-
Moira say they were looking for us? Like they wanted to come in. They wanted us to come in and ask questions.
She just said that. She just said. I don't. Did she say that they wanted us to come?
They wanted to
come by?
talk to you still, and they gave you a contact.
Yeah, they
card.
gave us a business
Oh.
card.
It would definitely look suspicious on our part.
I think we should
if
all
we
be
didn't.
together if
Agreed.
we go and do that.
Yeah.
Yes. And we should follow the same rules that we've already set for ourselves.
Agreed.
Alright, so you guys are going to go look for the Detective Bulls, and me, Mytho, and the Aminals and animals are gonna go look for,
And Moira.
and Moira are gonna go
Get started.
Which room did we want to?
War room.
War room. Okay. Okay.
All right. So why don't we start with Hiraeth, Goff, and Ellen.
Okay.
You head across town.
Oh, quick thing, real quick. Small minor thing, not important to anything, but Goff also, when he goes to the garden, he plays with his little animal buddies. And
Okay,
says hi
yeah,
to them
they're-
again. Because I
They're
forgot.
skittering about the tree.
Yeah,
Good
he
time.
gives them all little hugs and pets them and
Aw.
you know plays with them
Aw.
for a little bit while he's talking to Roscoe. Because I forgot, I almost forgot that they're there and I like haven't
Yeah.
acknowledged them. Sorry. Go ahead. Back to
Okay.
back to the group where we're going.
So
Sorry.
you head across town to the civic district, making your way for the military academy, or the HQ rather. As you're passing through the streets, you make your way through Storm Oak Plaza. You notice a very unusual buildup of city guards patrolling the square. There seems to also be a lot of commotion near the courthouse, as well as the Chancellor's headquarters.
I rolled a natural 16 on stealth.
Okay. No, they're not looking for you. There just seems to be dealing with
okay.
things at those various locales.
So what were the locations where things were commotion?
Particularly the courthouse and the Chancellor's HQ.
What do you think is going on?
Nothing good.
You see not only guards that seem to be either guarding the places or moving in and out of those buildings, but you also see a variety of what look to be lawmakers and officials and people in very sharp suits and dresses all moving out. And there seems to be a very elevated, energetic state going around.
Alan,
Mhm.
could you listen in? Curious.
Of course. So now I vanish into the shadows.
Okay.
With a natural 15 plus.
Jesus. 28,
A lot.
27, 28, something like that.
Yeah, that's 28. Yeah.
Do not overstay your welcome to see if you can guess.
Okay, so what are
Grasp
you
for what's
what are
going
you
on.
where are you heading? What are you looking for?
Are there any? I guess I'm gonna head towards like a cluster of guards, see if they're having like conversation.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, a lot of them seem to be going in and out of the buildings. No one's really staying in place for too long, except for a few people that you see who appear to be either on patrol or on standing guard duty around those two buildings in particular.
I'm gonna pick a random one and use and go in for his surface thoughts.
Okay. So you focus in on one of the guards who's standing guard outside We'll say the Chancellor's HQ. And his surface thoughts are mostly just, I can't believe this. When is this shift going to end? I
Yeah,
can't believe they pulled us out here for this.
not very useful. I'm gonna try to snipe one of the people. Like-
Snipe?
Like thought snipe.
Oh,
You're going
No.
to try to dig deeper?
I'm gonna.
No, thought snipe one at like just not dig deeper, but
I
like
knew that you were gonna say, we just don't. You,
no surface level. Like just grab someone.
No, I know.
Like,
Just
seems
grab someone in
No,
the
I-
crowd?
No,
got-
like grab the surface thoughts. Sorry.
Yeah, grab surface thoughts of someone in the crowd. What are you doing? You got to give me like an
of,
actual
of one of
directive.
the people who seems like who seems like they're walking with purpose, like like someone walking in
Okay.
or out, like bustly.
What's the range of Detect Thoughts?
I don't know.
Detect Thoughts has it's a range of self, and it can only be within creatures 30 feet
Oh.
in range of you.
Okay, 30 feet. Okay, I'm sneaking, and I'll like stand. I'll try to stand. How close can I get to like the entrance?
It's up to you. How close do you want to get? You rolled a 28.
How close is like the crowd?
There's not really a crowd per se. It's just an unusual buildup of guards, who all seem to be
Okay.
lining the stairways up to the courthouse and checking and frisking people as they come in. I will say that you can. I'm allowing you to stealth right now because you're essentially hiding in plain sight, moving with crowds and such. But if you get close to the courthouse steps, I'd say it's going to be more difficult to do that.
Okay. Looking at the people, like, who are getting into the courthouse, like, past the guard lines,
Mhm.
do any of them seem like they're there with, like...
They all
Like-
seem like they're there with purpose.
Oh, okay, I'll grab any one of those.
Okay. You're gonna get a front row seat. This should be interesting.
I'm gonna
That's it.
whisper into my earring, there's an event going on in there.
Ugh.
Do we want to spectate?
I don't want to waste a lot of time.
That's
But,
fair.
but it seems like something important has happened.
Definitely.
Oh. Are there windows?
Are there windows?
Not ones that you can peer into. I mean, it's a big courthouse. This isn't like some rinky-dink, like, podunk
No,
courthouse.
This is
This has got multiple
metropolitan.
courtrooms in there. Yeah.
the courtrooms don't have windows.
Well, they have windows, but you don't know which one you're going to be looking at. There's multiple courtrooms, and they're
Well-
high enough off the ground that you can't just peer into them.
We will stick out like the bruised finger, or what do you call it? We will stick out poorly if we go in.
That's
If you want to dedicate yourself to trying to sneak in and listen in on what's going on in there, you can try. But I cannot go in there. They were all. Whoever's looking, if anyone's looking for me, they'll find me the moment I start walking into that group.
That's true. I should be with you for detective. I don't want to go in alone, not without backup. All right.
So you all
I-
continue along then?
Yeah.
I have the Raven, but I don't think I can get it in there discreetly.
I don't think. I would. This is Arcadia. I would expect magical wards.
That is true. There was a ward when Cecil tried to go into the one room. Ugh. Yeah.
Are you heading
maybe
along?
if we find the detective, he will probably know. So
Mhm.
why don't we find him and ask him first?
Yes.
So you're continuing on your way.
Yeah.
All right, so you make your way across Stormwick Plaza, heading north. ultimately getting to the large military memorial garden and the military HQ beyond that. As you head up into the lobby of the military academy, or HQ rather, the guards at the checkpoint stop you. Says, "All right, all weapons and magical items in for safekeeping, please."
Of course.
Okay. So they wait for you to.
Does that mean? Does that count my true mark of Eldath?
Your mark of Eldath will. Oh well, you can't really get rid of that now.
Right.
But
I have it
any-
attuned, so does
Any
it?
physical items,
Right. Okay.
they're asking you to basically stow them so that. They're not going to allow that kind of stuff. 'Cause you were allowed to bring stuff in before because you had Verna with
'Cause
you,
were
but
with Verna. I miss Verna.
so.
Yeah.
But they're going to ask you to check all your stuff at the door, essentially.
Goff is very annoyed that he has to do this, and only does it because Ellen does it.
Okay.
Ellen is that like movie cliche where she's just like, wait, no, wait, no, that's not everything. Wait.
Okay. So you all remove your weapons and you keep your armor, but any other magical items like the shield, any stuff in your inventory, they check in and they basically keep it in a secure room.
Okay.
So you head in, you go down the hall to the domestic affairs office, where you've seen Detective Bowles previously. As you head inside, there seem to be a number of people working at their desks. It seems a little bit chaotic. You glance across the room and you do catch Detective Bowles. He seems to have multiple cups of multiple mugs of coffee that have been drained on his desk, an ashtray filled with cigarettes. He seems
You
to be
live like this?
Classic
Right.
crack dick, drinking coffee, smoking cigs.
Oh my god.
so he is
He's detective, crack shot. Sorry.
he's looking over a bunch of papers and seems to be very preoccupied.
I approach. I walk towards his desk.
He glances up at you briefly, just in passing, and then he realizes who has approached his desk.
Yeah, I'm
He looks
nothing
up.
like anyone else in the room.
Says, "Oh, you're back. That was quicker than I expected."
Yeah.
It is good to see you, Detective.
Likewise.
I am sorry to see you are busy, but we insist we wish to speak with you.
Sure. Do you just need to be in private?
It would be preferred.
All right.
I'm looking around. Anyone listening in? Perception?
A couple of do a perception check.
14.
A couple of people see you and see that you're a very, very big Goliath, and they're occasionally giving you a sideward glance, but they seem otherwise preoccupied with their
Oh,
paperwork.
darn. Ellen rolled a natural 1 on perception, which
Oh.
means she gets an 18.
Oh my god.
So you, so after a moment, he gets up from his desk and says, "All right, follow me. We'll use one of the interrogation rooms." And so
Thank you.
he brings you over, ushers you into a small room, closes the door behind you. Says, "Now, this place should be soundproof and scry-proof. If
Good.
there's anything you wish to discuss."
I never want to distrust this man, but I'm rolling insight.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know that you joke about me making insight, but we're trying to be thorough here.
What did you roll?
Insight. My insight's +8, I think. Let me double check. I always forget if it's 8 or 4 for that. I think it's 8. So 19.
19. Seems honest.
Ellen
Okay.
rolled a 26.
Seems very honest.
Okay. Just we're being thorough here. We made
Okay.
this plan.
All right. Okay.
Am
so,
I able to tell if there's any kind of anti-magic field set?
are you using True Sight?
I mean,
Goff, I will say, as you're like, you feel like a tingling on your palm, and when you look at it, the Eldath symbol is no longer moving. So you get the impression that you're under the effects of an anti-magic field.
As Harath is looking around, maybe like looking for that, Goff shows the back of his hand to her and his nods,
oh, okay.
like
Do we know about that?
Do you know what?
I'm just saying this, and there's something that Goff probably. I mean,
Showed
either way,
us?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably
I mean, I
should
can
at the
s-
end of last session. We'll,
I'll
we won't.
say it's good. I'll say that.
All right. So Detective Bull sits down at one of the chairs at the desk, the interrogation table, and he puts his feet up on the table and he says, "All right, so what do you got to say?"
We are. Well, first of all, before we get into the details, what is the commotion at the courthouse? Do you know?
To be honest, I'm curious myself. I
You
know
don't
that
know.
I think they took in a few big fish last night.
Big fish.
The city guard. They've been looking for some folks for a while now, and they seem to have caught them. And I know the prosecutor's office has been working overtime. They work through the night. Seem to be putting a case together.
What kind of people? Did they find Anna?
I don't know.
Was it
Not. They're
criminals?
leaving
Was it...
they're leaving the military out of the loop. I'll tell you that much. I don't know. I'm just a detective here. I don't.
Do you have any inkling, an idea of who it might be? Is there anything you've heard around the city that could indicate who they are?
No, this only happened within the last, I'd say, 15 hours.
That fast?
That is
Yeah.
incredibly concerning. Well, okay. Detective,
I'd say if you want to know more, you'd probably need to take a visit to the prosecutor's office. You're probably friendly with that guy, right?
Who's the prosecutor?
Victor Warren, the head prosecutor.
we
Friendly
we,
is a generous term I would use.
we are aware of each other.
Well,
Well, better than Beaumont.
it's his office. Lead him whatever's going on at the courthouse, so you'd probably be your best bet. Otherwise, maybe stick around, see what shakes out.
Very well.
Over there, they seem to be getting ready to put on a trial, or a hearing at least.
It is something we would like to look into, but you know nothing. And within my insight check, I'm assuming he has no knowledge.
Yeah, he seems honest. He seems just as much in the dark as you.
But in the meantime, Mr. Detective,
Yes.
I don't normally like to ask people a lot of questions or insist things upon people. You know, you've met me. The whole talking a lot thing is new,
I can tell.
so forgive me if I have a difficult time. If we asked you to agree to a questioning within a zone of truth,
I don't think that'll work in here.
it won't work in here, but I'm asking hypothetically. Would you agree to do that?
I see no reason why I wouldn't.
And again, that's honest.
That's
He
good to
seems
hear.
just as confused as you are. He seems willing to help, willing to try to
Okay.
give information to you, but he doesn't really know that much.
I'm trying to phrase this carefully. While we were gone, we witnessed something very strange. And we have learned that things could be worse in this city than we initially thought. We need people we can trust. And we withhold information even from you because we need to make sure that whoever we speak to can be absolutely trusted to always be with us and support what we know and what we are trying to do.
And I'm just, perhaps even those we do trust, I don't want to have to burden more people than necessary
If-
with the
yes.
information.
The information that we hold or that we are concerned with, if we are to tell it to other people, it could put them at risk because they know.
Say no more. Say no more. If it's dangerous, I don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
It's fair.
So I'm glad you understand. The point is, we need someone we can trust, and so far, you are after Anna, who we cannot find or to get in contact with. You are the next person that we could think of that have any sort of involvement with the city, or have an eye or an ear.
Well, I'll do my best to keep a lookout. I'll have to pound the pavement, so to speak. shake out some of my old contacts, but maybe I can find
Yes.
something.
Now,
In the meantime, maybe the direct approach might be the best option.
it may be. Now, I assume I already know the answer to this question, but do you know anything about where Anna Stonebrook is?
Afraid not. She's been gone for a few weeks now.
I tried to send her a sending message, like I used when I spoke with you before while we were gone, and it hit a wall, some kind of magic barrier. Either she is protecting herself, or someone is trying to keep her from talking to other people. That is and that second choice is our biggest concern.
I wish I could help you, but you know just as much as I do. This is news to me.
Did she
Okay.
leave any kind of official statement before she
No.
left?
Nothing.
How long has it been since she's officially been acknowledged as
About
gone?
3 weeks now.
That is...
That makes sense. We did try to. I remember we were like, when we spoke to Gimbal, right? Like that's what
Yeah.
that's about the time
yeah.
time frame. Yeah.
He says, yeah, the city officials are getting a little nervous about that. They haven't seen her in a while, and the Parliament's getting antsy about it. They want to appoint an interim chancellor until she returns, but that's all politics, so...
I feel that.
I want you to stay safe, because you are a good man, and we have so few of those we can rely on. I want you to stay safe, but if you hear anything about where she is before we figure something out ourselves, please tell us as soon as you possibly can.
I will, Chief. Don't worry about it.
Again, honest.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Okay.
I would let you know. You don't have to keep
Yeah, I
asking.
know. I'm
will
sorry.
let you know.
I'm
because of your
so
roles.
worried about
Just
someone
clear
being betrayed.
paranoia.
I don't want to be betrayed, Falk.
If you roll, given your roles, if it looked like he was sweating or trying to deceive you, you would know.
So basically, at this point, either
He
he's
seems trustworthy.
genuine or he is a master at not being detected.
Or he just happened to roll in
But-
nat 20.
Oh, they're so paranoid.
What?
Of course we are.
You just told us there was a conspiracy involving people in the government.
But that doesn't mean everyone's involved.
I know, but we don't know who is and who isn't.
Okay, all right. So,
That's what we're trying to figure out, man.
okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, Miss Poor. Time.
What?
don't know.
You're
Tom,
breaking
you're
up a
cutting
lot.
out.
Oh, I think it's just me not talking.
Yeah, you're not talking loud enough. It's not picking you up your voice.
Thank you for your time. Sorry to burden you with what little we have. We don't want to put you in any more danger. You could be. Until
All right,
we are
well,
certain that
If that's the
knowledge must be
case, if my safety is your concern, then let's end this conversation right now. The less I know, the better.
very well.
Thank you so much.
If anything strange, sightings of Anna, anything odd, we worry that some people or some places, some establishments within the city are not as what we wish they would be. So, we are very paranoid at the moment.
Also, just be on your guard yourself.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Alright.
Kind of grins.
Thank
Well,
you so much.
We may go to investigate what is going on in this courthouse or otherwise. Just stay safe, detective.
Will do. You be safe too.
Aye.
We'll do our best. Right.
He shows you out, and you retrieve all of your items from the storage.
They're all our
Lock
real items. They haven't been swapped.
Yeah, they're all the same. You're still attuned to them, so you know this.
Okay. Listen.
Whatever paranoia we have, you planted that seed. I'm telling you.
I know.
Okay, so we're good with that.
Hey, let's
Well,
play D&D tonight. It'll be 2.5 hours. My players being so fucking paranoid that they didn't want to move the plot forward.
Okay. Next lead. What was our next lead?
Well, there's something strange going on at the courthouse, and he said that maybe just approaching it directly is the best course of action. Or you can go to, or what do they call it?
The prosecutors?
The city guards. Or yes, to Victor.
We should go, if we go to the city guard, I think will be expected to show up for the detectives, I'd rather have Sissel and Mito here for that.
No,
And
we
Musk.
should. Yes. Well, so we could go to Victor, or we could go to see, or we could investigate what is going on in this building. What do you think?
Let's go to the building itself. Anyone who recognizes us, we can just say we're curious, which we very much are.
Like we've said, it'd just be suspicious if we seem like we're trying to hide. So, it must act as if, yes, let us speak a little of this. There are eyes and ears everywhere.
Okay. So, are you heading somewhere else next?
Guess we're going to the
We're gonna
courthouse.
go to the court. Yeah, we're
Is
gonna.
that-
So we'll pause that for a moment.
Yeah.
Sissel, so you, Mito, Roscoe, Tackle, and Moira all head out. You're actually conveniently kind of heading in the same location because if you want to find someone who can cast an anti-magic field over the one of your rooms, you're going to have to go to the academy.
Yeah.
You're going to have to find one of the wizards there to do so for you. So you similarly head out into the civic district, and you see the same thing that your companion saw. This buildup of guards, this hectic rush around the courthouse.
Would we have all been together for that if we left at the same
Yeah,
time?
I'd say you probably would have left at the same time and all seen this together. And
Okay.
Cecil, if you could choose to head out toward the academy and take care of business there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way to the academy, and you head on inside. Is there any particular way you wish to, get someone or enlist somebody?
I was gonna ask at the front desk, I guess.
Not necessarily a front desk here. You've been here a
Okay.
number of times. It's sort of just like a large research institution, and a lot of people just sort of move around. They don't really have a front desk presence.
Do I have any idea of where I would find a...
You'd probably want to speak to one of the enchanters because they could be responsible. They're the ones who primarily are involved in gold transactions between the academy and services that are rendered.
Okay.
So.
I'm gonna go find one of those.
Okay, so I'd say you find an orcish man, half orc, a bronze-colored skin, his fairly small tusks. He's got like sort of a curly black mustache. He's got a little monocle on, and he's
Oh goodness.
you find you head over to the enchantment room where a lot of these transactions take place, and you encounter this gentleman. He seems to be on desk duty there today, and as you approach, he says, "Yes."
Oh. Yeah, I was curious. I'd like to see somebody about getting a room enchanted.
But of course.
Holy shit!
What kind of enchantment are you looking for?
An anti-magic field.
It is quite a popular enchantment, especially in those who want a bit of privacy.
Yeah, you know.
This fucking guy.
Sometimes you just don't want people, looking in on you.
But say no more, madam, say no more. he twirled his mustache a little bit. He seems to look over his book a little bit. We could have someone do the job. It would take about a week.
Alright.
We could send them out in the morning. Be in work.
Okay, I'll just write down the room that we'd like and our address, and
We'll, upon the beginning of the enchantment, we'll expect half up front and half at the completion of the job.
okay, that won't be a problem.
Very well. I will send a representative of the academy to your establishment. Where is this, by the way?
The Dapper Snapdragon. It's the
Yes.
tavern over. Yeah.
A number of our associates frequent the place from time to time. He writes your information down and says, "Very well. We'll see you in the morning."
Thank you very much.
Nods his head to you, and his monocle almost falls out.
Oh my god. Just gonna exit the room and just like double over and wheeze for a little bit.
Myra sort of pats you in the back. Are you okay, dear?
Yes, that was an experience. Okay,
I'm
I'm
let's
so
go.
proud.
Many eccentric people here at the academy. I've come to learn.
Sure.
I'm so proud of Sissel.
Let's go.
So you all head back out, and it's actually kind of around this time that you are heading back into Stormwell Plaza that you see your companions coming across the square heading for the courthouse.
Oh hey.
Hey, we are extremely curious, and I need to know what's going on. Do you want to come with?
Yeah. I mean, I've got the thing set up. I think someone should be here there in the morning.
Perfect. Moira, do you want to come with us, or you can go home if you?
I admit I'm
better.
curious as well, and I'm
All
here,
right.
so.
All
Okay,
right.
so you all head into the courthouse.
We all head into
Or-
the courthouse.
We all head
Or we go towards it. I don't know if we can go
Okay.
in
So,
right now. It sounds like there's a lot of
you-
guards out front.
There-
There's
That's
a lot of
not
guards.
really
They're just
fucking
watching
true.
things. People are.
Oh.
Yeah. So you make your way up the tiered steps up to the courthouse doors and make your way inside the lobby. It is packed in these halls. There are attorneys. There are what look to be lawmakers and their assistants. There are a number of guards. There's a number of officials from the city who all seem to be crowding these hallways.
Can I
As
grab
you
the surface thoughts of a random attorney? Just
Sure. As you gaze across the room as you're entering the lobby, you look toward an elven man, and he seems to be fumbling with his papers a little bit, and he says, "Oh, if only I hope I can get a plea deal. I hope I can get a plea deal. I hope." As you're entering the lobby proper, you see there's a guard station set up, and you actually are noticing as you're approaching that as people funnel into this building, they seem to be checking in items, leaving weapons aside. Many of them are taking their cloaks off and various pieces of jewelry that look magical in some way. Some people are even actually like taking boots off, and they seem to have brought a change of shoes for the occasion, essentially.
Wow.
And you hear one of the people at the station who looks to be one of the city guards. He's wearing the blues of the Arcadian guard officials. And he says, "All magical items and weapons, please check in."
Sissel, the bag.
No. No. I don't think we can do that. There's too many people here.
do we want to? Okay. Does one of us want to wait outside and with all of our magical stuff in the bag?
The one person vulnerable to something happening to them? Not necessarily.
I mean,
It's-
we can have more than one person.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Body system.
Buddy system. Alright. I'd like to I'd like to be here.
I will stick out greatly. I could remain outside.
Roscoe barks at you.
Does that
Okay.
imply that is that him like being like, I'll stay
Yeah,
too?
he's gonna stay with you.
Okay. I scratch his back in his head.
Wags his tail a little bit. So you and Roscoe head back outside and just wait for everybody else. Is that?
with
Yeah.
our weapons and
That's a lot of stuff. Are you
Yeah,
putting
will
all
we
in the
have
bag
to
of holding?
remove all our magical items, or do we just
Yes.
check them in? Ew.
You check them in, or you don't come in.
Yeah, I'm putting my magical stuff in the bag of holding.
Alan doesn't have a ton of magical things, so compared to other people,
You have
I
the
don't
wing
think-
cloak, you have the medallion, and I think you have the gloves of
Yeah, and I have the gloves.
lockpicking.
Yeah, so I think Ellen is
And
easily.
you have a fourth
able-
thing too. I think you have the quiver.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the quiver.
yeah.
I don't know if all this
And the bow.
stuff is gonna fit in the bag. Like I don't know what your capacity is, especially with all that money that you're lugging around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so how do we handle it?
I think Cecil's just gonna
No.
check in her stuff.
Ellen doesn't want to like leave her weapons and stuff with the guard.
I
Well,
could.
you see everybody. You do see everybody else doing it. Like this seems to be standard procedure, especially, for courtroom procedure.
Oh,
They don't
okay.
want people. They don't want people walking in with weapons and magical items
Right.
that harm people.
No, it's fair. I just
Oh,
think it's
yeah.
it's. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. I can check everything in. Okay.
If there's anything like super valuable that you don't want to be at risk of being lost, or like your brooch or anything, I think Goff could probably hold that. But like Sissel's brooch or whatever. But if there's anything, but yeah, otherwise it's probably fine.
I think Cecil's gonna leave the brooch and the staff with you.
Okay.
So I'm just checking everything else.
So I'll put what I can in the bag. If I can't put anything in the bag, I'll just hold it, I guess.
That's not
Well,
conspicuous.
if you're outside, then you don't need to put anything in the bag.
Well, it's also just like easier to hold.
I was just talking to Tom. If he's standing
What?
outside, he doesn't need to put any of his magical items anywhere because he can just hold on.
No, not mine. I was talking about Sissel. Sissel gave Goff 2 of her items.
I'll give
but-
you the vial.
Okay,
and
so
then
I'll
check
hold
everything
the
else in.
I'll hold the very important lore backstory items for people that are very important, and then whoever, yeah.
Okay. And the rest of you are either giving your important stuff to Goff or checking in stuff and then making your way into the
Yeah.
courthouse.
Yeah.
So is it me? Who's
You and
go-
Roscoe.
Is Mito also going in?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Moira also going in?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just me and Roscoe. Okay,
Correct.
and Tackle probably.
Yes. Tackle, yes.
If Tackle was walking, so I have to keep an eye on them, make sure the Tackle doesn't bully Roscoe or
Yeah,
something.
Okay.
I'm also
Okay, so
keeping
the
an eye on him.
So the remainder of you make your way into the courthouse. You're looking through these very, very crowded halls, and there seems to be the largest of the commotion is near one particular courtroom in this whole rotunda. On the far end of the hall, there seems to be a concentration of people who all seem to be trying to make their way into this courtroom.
Okay, that seems to be the main attraction. Shall we?
Let's see what's going on.
Okay. You push your way through these crowds and into the courtroom. And as you get inside, you see that the whole gallery, 2 full floors, is packed with Arcadian gentry and people of power. Men and women of many races in sharp suits and dresses. You suspect probably lawmakers and other important people, and they're all crowding these benches. Gazing over the crowd, near the front, you spot the green hair of Gimbal Needlenose. He seems somewhat anxious. Sissel, you also see near the front as well the older form of Peter Vinto, and he's leaning on his cane and glowering as he looks straight ahead. And as you continue passing your gaze over the crowd, you see Dr. Samuel Walden near the back, his arms folded and his lips pursed, his eyebrows scowled in anger. And through the crowd, you spy the very top of a tan fedora with a hint of greenish skin.
Oh.
Wait,
This is her trial.
who's the fedora?
Jack, I think. No.
Wait, for real?
I'm gonna.
Jackson here? Oh my god. Okay. Yep. This is what I was worried it was gonna be. Oh fuck. Keep going. Sorry.
At the front of the room, at the lawyer's tables, you spy 2 individuals. One is a middle-aged dwarf in a sharp 3-piece suit with fiery red hair, and he bears an imperious monocle, and a number of gold coins are woven into his beard. And at the other table, you see a tall, middle-aged man with greenish skin of an orc, but the fine, delicate features of an elf. His gray hair is pulled back in a ponytail, and he wears a set of thin-rimmed spectacles at the tip of his nose. And they both seem to be preparing various pieces of paperwork and getting ready for the justices to enter into the courtroom. So what do you wish to do? What do you wish to do as you're surveying this scene?
Now I'm mad that I didn't go in. Oh well, we can't talk to each other now because there's no earrings.
Nope.
What do you wish to do?
Good luck.
Do we want to go back and get Goff? This seems a lot more serious than I thought it was.
Definitely.
That doesn't solve the problem of the bag.
No, but I'll be ready at the door.
Is that Jack up there?
Yeah. I'm gonna... Do we want to... And Dr. Walden, that means this trial is who I think it's for.
Yeah, this is bad.
Do you think this is the event? Wait, okay. They don't do capital punishment in Arcadia, do they?
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna go up to, like, vanish into the crowd and go
Okay.
up to Dr. Walden.
All right. So you're just hidden, and you just kind of make your way quietly through the crowd, and you sneak up near Dr. Walden, where he's sitting in the benches. He seems to be tapping his foot anxiously.
Okay, we just got back. What is happening?
Oh! Out of a silver strings, don't sneak up on an old man like that.
Sorry, Doctor.
He looks over his shoulder.
I'm sorry, what? Say that again.
Okay, we just got back from 2 weeks away, and if what is happening is what I think is happening, what happened?
I don't know. I only heard it through some of my contacts this morning. They... Apparently, Anna arrived early in the morning, and the Arcadian city guard took her into custody and has been holding her for the last 12 hours or so.
On what charges, do you know?
I know. That's why I'm here. It's not a... It's apparently spread. He looks over the courtroom. I don't think the whole city knows, but those in power do.
This would explain why I couldn't send a sending spell to her. She was in an anti-magic room.
He looks. His face is the very picture of worry. He is very anxious.
What do we do?
I don't think there's anything we can do. We should at least be here to support her and find out what these charges are.
Of course. Oh,
At that point, you hear a sound at the far end of the room as a door opens, and the people in the benches all almost unanimously rise to their feet as 5 people step out from the chambers to take their seat on the bench. 2 women and 3 men, each draped in the demure black robes of a sitting justice. They file into their seats, and the central figure, a woman with shoulder-length gray hair and a thick pair of glasses. Sissel, you recognize this as the lady of your former house, Madeline Vinto, who is the Chief Justice of the Arcadian High Court. And as everyone takes their seat once more, she speaks. This session is now called to order. Guards, if you bring in the accused. One of the guards leans out of the doorway and whispers something to a guard in the hall. And after a couple of minutes, the double doors to the room open and 4 city guards enter, all of them surrounding a single figure. and there's an audible gasp that goes up from the gallery, and hushed whispers follow as you can make out the person they are guarding. A humanoid figure, her skin covered in brass scales, her
Oh,
head
no.
topped with horns.
Anti-magic field, that's right!
Yep.
Anna, in her unhidden dragonborn form.
Oh.
Her wrists and ankles are shackled, and she walks with a tired gait. Her gaze flits wildly about the room, and you can see by her look that she is terrified. Just as Vinto bangs her gavel to call the room to order, as the guards bring Anna over to the desk near the half-orc man, where she sits and tries to sink into her chair. Just as Vinto extends a hand toward the dwarven lawyer. Councillor Gimli, the floor is yours. The dwarven man nods and stands from his table, taking the center of the courtroom.
Esteemed justices and members of Arcadia, we are here today to address a matter of great national security. The creature you see before you is none other than Chancellor Anna Stonebrook, former head of the Academy for Magical Progress, and a woman who has pulled the wool over our eyes for decades. While this might be shocking enough, the Chancellor's recently discovered crimes bear important consequences to the city and the realm. During the course of this trial, we will show that Chancellor Stonebrook spent the past 2 decades building the Academy for Magical Progress for one express purpose: to obtain dangerous magical artifacts that could threaten to destabilize the realm. That in recent months, she has sought them with greater zeal, employing mercenaries to do her bidding, and abusing her position as the city's leader to reward them for their efforts. For what purpose, you might ask? We will show that Chancellor Stonebrook's goals have been to open a dangerous artifact that lies buried underneath the city's soil, one that could hazard doom for every living soul on the continent. We will show that she had the former Chancellor murdered in order to position herself for this very purpose. Above all, we will show that this woman, this creature, leads a terrible death cult bent on the resurrection of an elder god. A cult that has led to the deaths of many Arcadian citizens and has been the subject of a priority city guard investigation for months. We will show that Chancellor Anna Stonebrook is none other than the Grand Master of the Crimson Harbingers.
Oh, fuck.
At that point, the crowd in the audience is chaos.
They know what the Crimson Harbingers are.
You knew that this was this is common knowledge among the officials of the city. They've been trying to
Okay.
sleuth them out for months now. The room is absolute chaos at this point. People are shouting and raising their voices, and Justice Vinto is banging her gavel to attempt to call the room to order. Dr. Walden is in absolute shock. He just is looking straight ahead. His face is absolutely distraught.
That was Medici, though, wasn't it?
I don't think he was the leader.
Oh no, he led the cult of Ganador, and then he called these the Crimson Harbingers. Sorry excuse. What was it he called them? A sorry excuse
Yes.
of an imitation or something.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was somebody else who was the Grandmaster, but I don't think something.
At this point, everything else is almost a blur. The justices try to formalize things as best they can, setting bail.
What was Jack's reaction to that?
As you look back up toward the gallery seats where you saw Jack's fedora, you don't see it anymore.
Oh,
That fucker's got an agenda.
I love him.
yeah.
Everything is sort of a blur from this point forward. The justices have since given up trying to call the courtroom to order. They've quickly set a bail, and the guards have taken Anna away once more, this time through back rooms in order to avoid contact with the crowd in case there's any danger to her. What do you wish to do?
do we do?
Okay, outside. We need to talk with Goff.
Yeah.
Dr. Walden, would you like to join us?
You're damn well right I do.
And I'm just gonna give the
Yes.
crowd a scan one more time for Jack.
I don't see him.
If he doesn't want to be seen, he won't be seen.
I know.
If he wants to find us, he'll come.
I
That's
should
also
have.
true.
A mysterious
I should've-
motherfucker. He's
I
so
should
cool.
have approached him. He's so cool. I love him.
I love how this guy nearly kills us early on, and we're all just like, oh, but he's so cool.
I know. I mean, like, I have the same reaction to Auntie Ellen. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Ugh.
So you make your way back out of the courtroom, pushing way through the crowds of people who are just energetic and talking and wildly speculating. You make your way back to the checkpoint and retrieve your items, it takes a bit as other people are also trying to leave the courtroom as well, the courthouse, and retrieve their items. But eventually you get all of your stuff back.
right.
You check it over, no worse for wear, nothing's missing.
All right.
Dr. Walden, do you have a safe place we can talk?
By safe, you mean safe from
Magic.
magic? I am afraid not.
We'll just have
Alright.
to keep an eye out if nothing else, or
All right.
something.
Yeah. Let's head to. Okay. We should head to the Dapper Snapdragon.
I think that would be our best bet for
Okay.
now.
So you make your way out of the courtroom, where you find Goff and Roscoe
Goff,
waiting on the steps.
Goff, there's so much we have to do, but somewhere safe. Snapdragon?
Very well.
I hand the stuff back to people who.
think
give me things.
Alright.
We're gonna speed walk to the fucking Snapdragon.
All right. With your this newfound sense of purpose, you make your way very quickly across the city, almost urgently rushing, and eventually you get yourself to the Snapdragon. Do you head below, or do you stay on the main floor? Where do you go?
War room seems like
Okay.
the best.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you head down. Dr. Walden follows you, making your way into the war room.
And, yeah.
Is,
Okay.
Is the one lady who's sometimes there? Is she there right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Sergeant Dead Strength.
Sergeant, if it's okay, do you mind if we have a conversation in private? This is.
Oh, yes, of course.
If you. Alright.
I'll go.
Have
I'll
yourself-
head upstairs.
Have
I
yourself a
don't-
nice meal.
I don't mean to buy into this meme about me at this point. An insight check to see if she seems.
I mean,
Oh my
same.
God.
Fucking hired her.
That doesn't mean she's not. Dude, we talked about
Why
how
did
we're
you
worried about
roll?
her of 19.
Yeah, she seems honest.
Okay, man. I'm
I've
just
rolled an 18
gotta deal with this.
plus whatever.
You're just showing off at this point.
No,
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
we
she's-
have
she's
had
fine.
Anna roll a natural 20 on me, and I have been paranoid ever since.
Literally two people in this whole campaign have lied to you, and they're both your friends.
I know.
Exactly.
That makes it worse. That makes it worse. That's no wonder we're so paranoid.
Okay,
That's
so
no
you're,
excuse.
you're alone in the war room. You close
Okay.
the door behind you. It's just the six of you. Mora has since gone back to attend to the garden. She seems a little beside herself with what you just witnessed. And, so it's the six of you, Blue Hearts, and Dr. Walden.
Okay, so
Okay,
let's
so
go to the
first we
chest.
need to catch Goff up to speed.
Please.
The trial
Tell me.
was for Anna.
What? She was in there.
She was in there. She was in her Dragonborn form.
No-
They're charging her as the leader of the Crimson Harbingers.
Where?
Now,
Her message. She was. God.
yes, that would explain
Oh.
why the message wouldn't take.
Well,
Okay, Dr. Walden,
Yes.
there are some things that you need to know too.
Well,
Um,
apparently I need to know a lot. I never knew that the woman who was my friend for 30 bloody years was some sort of dragon.
you didn't
she
know
never
that?
showed you?
No.
Oh,
Oh.
gods.
We knew that before you did. Oh,
Know that.
I'm sorry about that. Well, she kept it hidden Because, well, I suppose for exactly the reasons
Her
that
people are
happened
not
today.
from here. There are very few, if any, at all besides her.
And
Monogamous silver strings. Well, what are we gonna do about this?
okay, on the island, Moira and Dr. Walden, you should know
Moira's not
that.
Moira's not here.
Oh, Moira's not
Yeah,
here.
Moira's
We need to
She
keep
went back
her.
to
We
her
need to keep
garden.
her safe from information shit.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
She knows she's gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Okay, yeah.
Before we start, Doctor.
Oh yes, headache.
No, she used the spell. Is that what you're
Oh,
talking
she
about?
did. Yeah.
I
Did you use the spell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wraith, actually, as you're gazing around the room, you just see Jack nonchalantly sitting in his corner.
She just points at him and says, "I had you in mind when I took this spell."
He grins at you and he nods. He tips his fedora and he slowly he his,
It finally happened! Horace's paranoia finally paid off to find that fucking orc!
Oh my god!
I love him.
he kind of
He's just
grins.
sitting in the corner!
He grins at you and his ring of invisibility. He deactivates the effect and you all see Jack appear before you. And he says,
Gee,
"You'll have. I'm afraid you'll have to be a lot better about your security."
Oh, we absolutely do.
Oh, Walden
Oh,
is
Jack.
staring daggers at Jack right now. He's just, what is he doing here?
He does what he wants, it seems.
Uh,
We didn't exactly invite him.
Okay, but the more powerful people we have here, the better, I think.
before we talk, I need to tell you both.
And I looked at Jack a little bit of a squint. Well, I can't see my eyes. I don't know why I say that.
Whatever information we talk about, it puts you both at danger for knowing about it. I'm sure, Jack, that you will have no concern about this, but Miss Dr. Walden,
It's okay.
there are things that we're concerned of, and if you are aware of them, it could put you in danger.
Don't worry about me. I have friends.
Be sure that they're your friends, and be sure you can trust them. Unless you mean us. I am now realizing you might have meant us, in which case what I said was not very smart.
I share my space with some capable allies in the far corners.
Okay.
Just be sure
I'd say
you
they're
can trust
roommates of mine.
and do not tell them of anything they do not need to know.
I hope he's talking about Marion and beat Chris.
Oh, is he talking about the other group?
I think he's talking about
I
Team
didn't.
B.
I didn't pick that up. I'm sorry. Well,
He's
either way, I
super
went
talking
off
about
with-
Team B.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Be sure that you can trust them.
Okay.
Now,
I trust them with my
Alan.
life.
Ellen, please, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Of course. While we were in the archipelago, we met up with ourselves, but from a future that we need to prevent from happening at all costs. And
Future where
the
Anna has
future
died.
begins.
Things
It begins with Anna's death. And
Oh.
ends with the real Grandmaster having successfully brought Fortune to ruin. Sorry, yeah?
I'm sorry. I think factually, it's actually technically not how it started. Because
Oh,
That's a lot of speculation.
Yeah, that's
well,
that's speculation.
Goff said that things went differently way before we even met Ada, the little girl who talked to us.
Yes.
So the correction would be that,
Oh, okay,
like,
yeah.
it started at some point along the path we've taken. Things went differently for them, and things got darker and worse. So I
Yeah.
guess just say that however you want. That's
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I didn't
Our,
mean to
our,
like.
our timeline has already
because
diverged from
Alan
theirs,
is
but-
brilliant.
Our timeline is already
Mel
different.
is an idiot.
No, it's fine. It's okay. I wanted to correct it so that we weren't. Yeah.
Yeah, Alan would not make that mistake.
No, yeah, that's
He
fine.
has an intelligence of 19, and Mel
Jesus
has...
It's because of the band of intellect. Let's not.
Oh yeah, that's true, I forgot.
It still helps.
It's still... Listen, Alan...
Actually, when you had to check that in, you got dumber for a bit. You're just
Yeah.
like shit.
I missed that. Okay. Alright, so...
We met ourselves from a really dark future.
Mhm. And-
That's concerning, and this has something to do with why were you at the archipelago in the first place?
I think you know.
I don't think you ever discussed this with Dr. Walton, did you?
He
I
was
don't
there.
remember.
He was the one who read it.
Oh, right. Fuck. God damn it. Okay.
Before,
Well, he doesn't know that you were actually there to get it, though.
listen, before we start, I know there's there is very little to no reason that we should not trust you. We have made an agreement with ourselves that if we were going to talk to someone, we would make them agree to, or insist they agree to, a zone of truth spell. Can you both agree to that?
I believe I can.
We won't inquire about your deep pasts or whatever you did when you were younger. We just want to know that you will,
That we can trust you.
that we can
Yeah.
trust you.
Well, then get on with it.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Stone of Truth
Okay.
in the room.
All right.
Um,
You see the divine light fill the space as this truth field appears. I need everyone to make charisma saving throws
if we want to resist it.
if you want to resist it.
I mean, I'll roll it, but I don't really.
You don't need to. I don't think you're.
I don't. I don't. Wait, can I? I don't. It doesn't matter for me because I cast it, right?
Actually, I
matter.
think you're affected as well. Actually,
Well, I failed my own charisma save. I failed my own.
So
you gotta tell.
I
You
rolled
gotta.
I rolled a 27.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
roll
rolled a-
just to see what if I resist, but I'm not gonna resist it. Oh well, that's 18 plus 8, so
Yeah, I
But,
rolled a
like,
negative.
I'm not
I rolled
resisting.
an,
I'm
I
not
rolled an
resisting.
8. I
I'm
rolled
not
an 8. So
resisting.
Okay.
okay.
They don't resist.
Okay.
All right. Go on.
Okay, so, in that alternate future, Anna
They
is
asked.
dead.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Uh,
He just
that
asked us about what we were doing in the archipelago.
Oh, yeah.
So we should probably answer that. Sorry. I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm not trying to interrupt, but
Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to get my thoughts together.
No, it's okay. We interrupted, so there was a consistency issue. And, yeah, sorry.
What we were doing. Yes. If you, Dr. Walton, if you remember the, oh god, the journal of the
The
Chancellor
one in
Stormoaks.
the passage in Elder Speech.
Yes, that one.
You were after those keys.
Yes.
Yes, under Anna's guidance, she asked us to look for them.
I see. Did she tell you what she planned to do with them? We sealed that siphon 20 years ago. No, excuse me, 15. 15 years ago. I was there. You were there. And he looks over at Jack, glaring at him.
Oof. Right. They were not on the same side there. Well.
Anna told us, out of character, Anna told us that we were trying to collect these to prevent them from from being used for worse, right?
Yes.
That's what she told us, essentially.
She was looking to have them quarantined and contained until they could find a way of destroying them.
Okay.
She wanted us to contain them and quarantine them until we could find a way of removing them for good.
And to be honest, it's a good thing we did because
The area-
we
yes.
went to was poisoning the area around it.
It was causing a great sickness to the people nearby.
Wow. This is Jack speaking now. He says, well, I'll admit I'm ashamed for my actions 15 years ago, Samuel. But it looks like now we have an opportunity to help our mutual friend.
We
And
are.
I know wouldn't do this. She's not this leader of this death cult.
No, we've
We didn't have any reason to think so, but we were worried. We wanted to ask her ourselves.
I don't think she is. Well, yeah, that's true.
We
should.
overheard.
I almost started doing a drawl like Jack. Jesus, why did I do
it's
that?
contagious.
We overheard someone know when we were in the east. on an island. We overheard some members of the cult. They were discussing a possibility that there was someone high up in the
In
the
Arcadian
Arcadian
society.
society or the government or military or something that was who was working with or was the Grand Master, as they so call it. And Anna does not avoid that. We were worried she may be compromised, but we wanted to we wanted to make sure she was in a spell such as this, so we could ask her ourselves. But when I tried to send her a message before we arrived, it was blocked by the room they keep her in, or what have you.
Yes, it is true. Ainsworth Prison has anti-magic cells for particularly dangerous magic users. I suppose they didn't want to take a chance. She's quite powerful, after all.
She is.
But you, I looked at Jack and to Wallen, you are certain she would not do something like this to lead these people?
Never. I've known her for 30 years. I traveled with her together. We defended each other together.
I want to believe that, and I hope it is true. And we have to assume I want to assume the best, but right now, we have to be certain of everything we learn. When we met those that looked like us from a different history, a different time, different space.
Dr. Standline.
What? Darker? Yeah, from a
Dark
different
Standline.
line of time. There was one who looked just like me, one who had fallen from a path that I am taking. And he told us something that I could not forget. Trust no one. The fact that we are giving you this much information means that you better not. You best be truthful to us. And I hope this spell.
And you what?
We're taking risks with everyone we talk to, even you.
I have only one interest, and that's seeing my friend released from chains.
Very well.
Jack pipes up and he says, I can conduct my own inquiries, but I think it might be best that we find out what dirt they have on old Anna. What case they're trying to make.
They did.
Well, she was hiding what she truly looked like. That's enough to cause fear in others.
That's enough to cause fear, but it doesn't make a case that she's this Grand Master. Certainly they must have documents or testimony to prove it. I'd say maybe you should take a visit to her attorney, seeing if he might be willing to help. He certainly knows what the prosecution might be planning. They have to share information after all.
Actually, there were detectives who came by earlier who said they wanted to meet with us specifically.
We have avoided
If
them
we
in
went
the
in-
case that they had ill will towards us.
They have ill will towards Anna. We're fairly certain they're part of that investigation.
They're with the city guard.
They are with the city guard. We can go in. Jack, if we go in, would you mind doing a little snooping?
Tell me what you're looking for.
I suppose. Oh, the interrogation rooms have.
Yeah, Jack can't
magic.
hide. He can't hide in an interrogation room.
Perhaps if you are able to sort of peek over a couple of shoulders while someone's working over. If you happen to see someone working on her case while we're there. Just. Although. Actually, all this information. Okay, in Arcadia, do we know if, like, the prosecution has to share all their evidence with the
Yes,
defense?
I literally just said that.
Oh, sorry. Brain idiot. Alright, so the best bet would probably be to speak with the defense. Figure out what dirt the prosecution has on her.
These Crimson Harbingers, they like to slither their way into organizations and positions of power, correct?
That
I-
is our
I am-
experience.
I am of the assumption at this moment that if our Miss Stonebrook is innocent, which we all hope she is and likely is, there is someone, this person perhaps we heard of, who is trying to get her, who is trying to make her look as though she is something worse than she actually is.
Absolutely.
I think someone is trying to, there is a word for it.
Frame her?
Yes, that one, yes.
Do we know who's keeping the
The what?
the brain? uh, do we know who's keeping the items that? Because the prosecution definitely mentioned some of the missions that Anna had us sent on.
Like the keys?
Mm-hmm.
She just said that she had them placed someplace safe. I don't
We-
remember any specifics.
There,
Hmm.
you delivered them to the academy. They are
We-
placed in a very, very secure vault underneath
Yeah.
the academy.
I have helped place the last key we obtained. They are,
Or maybe it was the first one. I don't remember which one
No,
I
the
made.
second one. The
The
first
second
one you got angry and just threw it at Anna.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because of the Medici.
Right.
they have it, unless it's been moved. 2 keys we have delivered have been under lock and great security in the academy. And on that note,
But
Jack, Samuel, there are things at work that we are not do not understand yet. I mean, more than what we already said. We have heard phrases and prophecies in the strangest of circumstances. And we are worried that if these keys are all left alone together without our supervision, something will go terribly wrong.
I have in mind that whoever is wanting to see Anna framed is also wanting to see all the keys together.
Yes. But no one knows where the 3rd key is. Except us. And you will not tell anyone of this. And we will not tell you where it is because we cannot compromise that information right now.
The less I know, the better.
The less you know, the better.
So you keep that safe.
We will.
If it means stopping whatever plan they have.
Okay.
I'll do a bit of sleuthing myself. I'll speak with some of my contacts and see if they can find anything out. But your best bet might be to find out what they have on her.
Yes.
We can trust the both of you with this information, yes?
Of course.
I just wanted to make sure.
What does Jack say?
Actually,
He nods. He nods.
Yeah.
I looked between Jack and Walden for a 2nd.
Mhm.
You two could be the soldier and the scientist, couldn't you?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, there was a prophecy we got forever ago. A suit, the soldier, and the scientist. You, Jack, fit the soldier. Walden, you fit the scientist. Would you happen to have a 3rd acquaintance who could be a suit?
I don't believe so. I
Hmm.
have a number of friends, and I don't think any of them wear a suit.
Anna could count potentially.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't get the feeling that our friends here are ones in question.
And they seem honest. And if the
Yeah.
I don't know if you said that the Zone of Truth is still going, but there's nothing.
I mean, the
dishonest.
Zone of Truth is going till like. Well, I can
It's
check.
10
out-
minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it goes until the conversation's
Okay,
over.
I didn't know if you said that you canceled or something. I didn't hear.
No, nope, still going.
So if it's still going, yeah, they're not lying.
yeah.
It is good to keep thinking about this, but I do not think they are the ones in question.
It's fair. It's just something that I worry about that prophecy quite a bit.
It haunts me every day I wake up.
We'll think about that. We'll just keep it in mind.
Mhm. All right. So, do we want to start with the defensive then? To be honest, I want to put off visiting the city guard as long as possible.
Oh, same. I don't really.
I
not in any
know
rush to
very
talk to
little
them.
of. I know very little of these people we need to speak to, so I will leave that, the leadership of that to you.
I know the defense attorney, Ed Leovan. He's a good fella.
What was the name?
Edward Leovan. He is very good at what he does,
Okay.
but
good.
only if the evidence is in his favor. If it's not, he can do the best he can for her to see that she doesn't fall on the chopping block.
If we are to make sure that the world and the time that we live in goes the better way, we must prevent Anna from dying at all costs.
Well, then if you're heading to Ed's place, it's just at the northern end of the market district.
All right. Thank you. What other? Do you two have any other possible lines of inquiry that you could follow?
I'll be making contact with a few of my associates, seeing if they can find anything out.
All right.
I suspect that if this is a frame-up, that they're gonna try to railroad her as quickly as they can.
Of
So we may
course.
not have a lot of time.
When there's less time, people do get sloppy.
Let
That
us
is
hope.
true.
All right.
And don't worry, I'll be watching, making sure nothing happens to you. And he kind of
I
tips his hat, and at that moment you see him, or at least everybody but Hiraeth sees him kind of go invisible again. Hiraeth,
I'm
you just see him.
gonna put my fingers to my eyes and then to my skin.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
he
point at him.
he grins at you and just sort of points in your direction and winks and walks out the room.
Oh,
So I see like the door. We all see the door open and shut.
Yes.
see.
Well, at least he still has to open. At least he still has to open doors. Sometimes I'm worried he just goes through walls without doing anything.
Oh.
A ghost.
Walden just sort of like sighs in disgust. He's just, that man is aggravating.
Well, he almost killed us.
He almost
So I
killed.
just-
He almost killed us. He's the reason Liza's dead.
She.
I'm sorry. You don't know Liza.
No.
Ellen is just like.
Well,
mm,
Uh
I
If he
kneel
hadn't helped
down.
Medici, he wouldn't have. If he hadn't been helping Medici that day, I'm sorry. I'm talking out of turn. You don't know what I'm
Does
talking
Sam know that Medici's dead?
No.
Okay.
I thought we told him.
No.
Did you?
okay,
No,
I
you
don't-
did. You did actually.
we
tell him
did?
That.
Okay,
Yeah, God,
okay.
it's so much stuff. It's like it's
Yeah.
literally months ago.
I kneel down
Talk
while.
about the quest giving NPC from Patcher's campaign. That lies. Or wait.
No. Liza's the woman who took care of Goff and
Yeah.
saved him from
Didn't
dying.
they both have the same name?
We
have the
did.
same
That was
name.
a fucking
Wow.
coincidence.
So when
Yeah.
I had just like we were still pretty fresh into Faust's campaign. I had just made this character like the background character for Goff, and then like Patrick just throws that name out, and me and Falcon both were like,
I'm just making
What?
sure it's not been because like they both
No.
had very different energy.
they have
No,
very
very
different
different.
energies.
One is very
Goff-
cursed energy, and one is very
Yeah,
serene energy.
yeah.
What? Yeah, Goff's Liza's like a gentle mom.
Yeah.
She's
Patrick's
like.
Liza is me in the game.
Okay, so
More like Patrick.
I kneel down
Patrick
to
and
get a little bit closer to his height, to Sam's height, and I say,
She's not.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what happened to her after that. But as Anna told
I
us.
saw her body.
Yes, I know, but this is the reason I'm alive today. When I first came to the mainland from the archipelago, I lived on my own for a while, but then I was attacked by wolves and I was killed. But she brought me back, and as far as I know, it was divine guidance by Eldath told her to do so.
He
and I lived with her for a decade. And then one day she left, and she's, as far as I know, still alive. She has sent me letters, and when we all went to investigate the throne.
He puts his hands on your shoulders, and you see like kind of tears like at the corners of his eyes a little bit. She says, "So she's still out there."
Yes. I don't know what she's doing, but claims to be very important. I miss her every day, but she, as far as I know, is alive.
You see this news just sort of wash over him, and he's silent for a moment. He says, I'm gonna go see what leads I can find. Best of luck to you all."
Very well.
Thank you.
Hurriedly walks out the room.
I'm just imagining who had the paranoia character in Team B.
That was
Lito.
me.
Yeah, I'm just imagining Lito like
I knew it!
Lito just screams from the four
I
corners.
can't believe we didn't hear that as we were walking back.
Oh my god.
I just see like Leto screeching past saying, "I for one welcome our lizard overlord."
I was right! I was right! Oh man.
Marion is just very excited at this, just like another one like me. Okay.
The concept of trusting deep crystal sensitive information is terrifying to me.
Okay.
I feel like Walden would know better than that.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, you don't
doesn't-
have to.
he
You don't have to
doesn't-
tell Kiva shit. She doesn't give a care.
He doesn't trust
No,
Deep
we're
Chris
here.
with a chili dog, let alone sensitive information.
Does you know what an actual chili dog is?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys were eating it
Yeah,
in
we
the last
had
campaign.
chili dogs. Not once.
Yeah, chili dogs are canon.
From the bodega.
Yeah. Okay, so alright, so he leaves you alone and you're by yourselves now in the war room.
Okay, so defense attorney?
May as well.
Alright.
So you all head out and you make your way northward across the city. Asking a few people for directions as you go. They point you in the proper direction. You eventually come across a building that looks like a repurposed home that's been turned into almost like a somewhat a faux manor house. It's been turned into an office of sorts, an attorney's office, and it's someone keeps hissing.
I think it's a microphone feedback thing.
Oh, is it a microphone?
Is it me?
Okay. It might be. So you get into the front of this manor house. It's got fine wooden timbering on it, similar to like a like Shakespearean kind of like the facades of those buildings back then, Globe Theater-esque.
Yeah.
You walk inside. There's a number of what look to be associate attorneys and support staff that are all in a rush. You enter into a foyer that is very well decorated. It seems like this man is a very successful attorney. He is paid very well for his services. The walls are hung with elegant tapestries. There's a very ornate and very expensive-looking chandelier casting light from above. You find a receptionist desk where a very professional-looking young elven woman is sitting, as she seems to be documenting certain items on the itinerary as you all walk in.
Can you just really briefly, because I'm gonna go with a lot of information and like law stuff. So we came here. He's the guy defending Anna,
Yes,
and
he's her lawyer.
we came here to ask him what? What are we trying to ask him? What are we trying to get out of him?
Because the prosecution has to tell him everything that they have so he can
Okay.
prepare an argument. So
Okay, so we want to find out what the prosecution told him.
Yeah, he's on her side, and he has all the information that the prosecution has.
Okay, so we're trying to find out. Okay, sorry.
A
Go ahead.
lot of Ace Attorney. That's not how it works.
That's exactly how it works. Ace Attorney is fucking bullshit, and you never meant to see my presence ever again.
Don't do this to Falk. He will go. He will just.
I know Falk has played those games.
Yeah, and they're bullshit. Okay, we're getting off the subject. We're getting over. I'm not discussing.
Sorry, I was trying to understand what we were doing because I'm not good with all the law like
Yeah,
defendant
yeah, that's fine,
prosecution
that's
stuff.
fine.
So okay, so we're
No,
just trying to see what he knows.
Attorneys, when they discover information, have to share it with the other side.
Okay, so
It's
we're just trying
called
to
a
find
duty
out
to
what.
disclose.
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
So we want to
Um,
find out what he knows. Essentially, is
yes.
the core goal here. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Just want to make sure I know that so I don't say something stupid.
Okay. So you walk in, and there's just this very professional-looking young half-elven woman who's wearing a sharp-looking blouse, working at the receptionist desk, essentially.
Here's where I feel like Maito would like. No. Anyways, we should approach.
Mhm.
So you're
Yeah.
approaching. She looks up towards you and smiles, and she says, "Welcome to Leaven Law Offices. How can I help you?"
Hi, could we speak to
Edward Leovan.
Edward Leovan?
I'm afraid he's very busy right now. As you can understand, he's got a very high-profile case that he's working on. Would you wish to speak to one of his associates?
No, it's
we-
regarding this case.
Yes.
And it's very relevant.
Do you have... If you have further information, you would be best to disclose it to the city guard.
We'd like to see what information we has and see if we can help. It might be the same, or it might not be, but
Make a persuasion check.
okay.
I want to. Oh wait, maybe this won't work.
Why?
Am I counted as part of this social interaction or not?
Have you participated in it? Have you spoken?
Not yet.
So no.
Fuck.
Okay.
You got to be involved, otherwise it doesn't apply.
What else am I gonna?
Is it me making a persuasion check, or is it?
Yes.
More? Okay.
It's you.
Oh. That's a 4 plus 8. That's
12.
12.
Well, I can take your information down and let him know.
Does it
Listen.
seem like I'll let him know, but she's not actually gonna let him
Yeah,
know?
it doesn't look like she's gonna let him.
Listen, we are close personal friends of the Chancellor. We need to know this information. It's for the
Are
best
you
of us.
investigators?
I am.
Of a sort.
Do you have a license?
I pointed Ellen.
Alan looks pointedly at Alan.
I mean, Alan is an
No, you have
She
a
would
license,
have a license.
right?
Yeah.
You have a detective's license.
I have one, yes, and I show it.
Okay. She takes it from you and she looks it over, scrutinizing it a little bit. So I'm sorry, you're offering your services freelance.
Yes.
For a good friend, yes.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Me?
Me.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you're the last one who spoke.
Got advantage.
I'm excited because Henry has.
If I didn't roll a
18.
4.
What?
Wait, no. It was a. No, yeah, 18.
18 total?
I rolled a 6.
Even with advantage?
I rolled a 5 and a 6!
Oh my god. I'm sorry, we already have some detectives on the case. If you're offering your business, so I can take
Didn't
a card.
we have, like, something that has her mark on it? Didn't we get something like that?
We have the ring.
We
have
have
the
it on
chancellor's.
us?
We have.
Yeah, you have the chancellor's ring.
Yeah. We never gave it to anybody.
You have it. Here, Ethan.
It's in the
that's
bag.
right.
It's in the bag.
Is it in the bag? I just
Oh.
need to know if I'm reaching for it or not. Anyway, I'm going to produce it
Okay.
and show it and be like, I don't even know what to say anymore. It's burned all my shit. I'm like, no, really. She would like to know that we are here to help her.
She takes the ring from you, and she studies it for a minute. Can you hold on 1 second? And she actually takes the ring and she walks back into
Hope
an
they didn't
office.
just incriminate them.
After a moment, she returns and she hands the ring back to you.
Okay.
Mr. Leaven would like to speak to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are brought down the hall toward a very large, open-windowed office, which has essentially the front wall of it is all windows, so that he can kind of look out onto the floor where all of his other associates are doing their work. You step inside to a very well-appointed room with a large mahogany desk, various paintings along the wall that seem to be oil paintings, accolades, licenses, degrees, covering one wall. There's behind the desk, you see a large blue flag that represents Arcadia. It's the Arcadian flag.
We've seen a lot of that
Fancy
recently.
man.
And you see that half-orc, half-elven gentleman, middle-aged, working feverishly at his desk. And he looks up at you as you enter. You're friends of the Chancellor, I've heard. Please, take a seat.
Yes.
Yes.
How long have you known her?
Over
How
a
long
year.
has it?
I think.
No, it hasn't been a year.
When
has
was
it?
when was the last Chancellor murdered? Because that's when
Yeah.
Like-
When did the campaign start?
We met her in the academy when she was head of the academy. So that was
4 or 5 months ago, I want to say.
we've known her for about 4 or 5 months now.
I'm only having this conversation because I recognize that ring. That ring belonged to the former Chancellor. And
Yes.
I
it
know that
was-
only those who he trusted, and by extension, the current Chancellor trusts, would have possession of it. It's very difficult to forge. Not many people even know of its existence. That's why we're having this conversation right now.
Of course.
So- Why are you here?
We want to help with the investigation.
All right. And I take it you're private investigators yourselves.
Yes. I produced my license.
He takes a look at it for a moment. Very well. Small-time small-time detective in the slums. I see.
Mm-hmm.
He just threw shade at you.
Listen,
Who cares?
if I acknowledge it,
He
was not
wins.
just gonna acknowledge it. I'm just gonna like the stuff she's seen in the. She's just.
I will
gonna be
say,
like, yeah.
I will say that the case against Chancellor Stonebrook is quite formidable. It's possible we may have to seek a plea deal. It
What
does
are
not
they
look good.
saying?
A number
What do
of
they
things.
think she has done?
Well, they're alleging that she is the leader of this death cult and has been for some years now.
Whoa.
They are alleging that she has sought out these keys, as they call it, to unlock this siphon once more and bring some terrible beings into our world. And I know that at the time, in order to prevent such a catastrophe, the city guard has locked this item down deep below the ruins of the city. But as far as proving that she is this Grand Master, certainly it is a shock to the system to see that my client is not human, as she has claimed to be for the last 30 years. And they're preying upon that to suggest further horrible things that they are going to prove.
So
But-
most of their proof revolves around their attack of her character.
Fearmonger.
Not quite. They're using that as their way in to make the justices question my client's truthfulness. He puts his spectacles on and he starts thumbing through some papers. There's a number of pieces of evidence that the prosecution plans to put forth in order to convict my client. First and foremost, they have what they claim is eyewitness testimony. They have captured, on the same evening that Miss Stonebrook re-entered the town, they captured with her 3 individuals, all of whom seem to be high-ranking lieutenants in the Crimson Harbingers, and they all are alleging that she is the Grand Master. They are They are known by their aliases as the Suit, the Soldier, and the Scientist.
Oh,
By their folly, they will open the gate.
Oh.
They intend to put them on the stand tomorrow, where they will claim that Miss Stonebrick is in fact the Grand Master. They are also pointing to some documents recovered from the late Emmett Beaumont, where he referenced a certain individual who he constantly referred to as my lady. And they're claiming that this is her and that these lieutenants will back up that allegation.
Lady.
In so doing,
No.
they're
No,
attempting to
sir.
connect this to the Chancellor, the former Chancellor's murder. Now, that is only part one of their attempt to convict my client. They have a number of documents. They're intending to prove a financial trail. They recently seized a good deal of gold from First Arcadia Bank in Miss Stonebrook's vault. Quite a hefty sum, more than a simple public servant would earn. And they seem to have a money trail proving that she has taken in and funneled this money to various splinter cells of the Crimson Harbingers, including showing that Miss Stonebrook was a silent partner in a company in Crankshaft known as Ogurahand Acquisitions.
Ojerahan.
Ogurahand Acquisitions. I apologize. I don't really know how the dwarves pronounce things.
We have
Um,
experience with that company.
What else? What else? He looks through his notes. Ah, yes. They're also intending to play up her relationship with an individual known as Niccolo Michele
Medici.
Iona de Medici, a warlock of some power who is still at large. And
No.
Yes. Yes, he is still at large.
they're intending to show that this Medici has some relationship in the past with Miss Stonebrook and that she worked with him in order to secure these keys as well. That is more or less the extent of what they used to intend to prove that she is the Grand Master, as they claim. They're also seeming to introduce some evidence of the Academy's construction to show that it was originally built along magical ley lines that seem to correspond with the geographical location of the siphon below Arcadia, and that this was essentially done to use the Academy as a large magical, for lack of a better term, lightning rod.
Quite the case.
You can see why I need to consider a plea deal.
what is a plea deal?
Anna will plead guilty, and in so doing, she will receive leniency in her sentence. The death penalty is on the table, but it is my belief I can get that off, and perhaps life imprisonment. And in exchange for information to the location of the remaining Crimson Harbinger cells in this city, so that the city guard can root them out.
If you're hoping for a plea deal to get the death sentence off the table and that's your best hope, then what's the point in going for a plea deal at all?
Because
she
opposite-
could end up dying regardless.
It's a matter of dying now or dying 30 years from now. Some life is better than no life at all, and frankly, as an attorney, sometimes it's the best you can get your client.
What do you have in favor of Anna? What do you know?
Her word.
No, what did
She claims
say?
that for the last 3 weeks she was visiting old
Good.
friends down in the crossroads, visiting the grave of former Chancellor Stormoak, visiting Lindholm to see where they first met.
Let me get this correct.
It doesn't look good, is what I'm trying to point
The
out.
word of Anna Stonebrook versus the word of 3 members of a cult.
The problem
What?
is that
I don't
The three
understand.
members of the cult were already administered a zone of truth, and they passed.
Interesting.
How do you know they did not resist it?
the
How do you
the
know that they will?
administrating cleric would know, wouldn't they?
I don't think they inherently know if someone resisted or not. Do they?
No, I don't think they have any way of knowing.
High Inquisitor Stonewright administered it himself. You can speak with him if you wish.
We wouldn't be able to
Who's-
find a way to speak with the cultists themselves, would we?
You may attempt to do so. They are currently being held in Ainsworth Prison.
Could we speak with Anna?
Yes, I can arrange that. You may also want to look into First Arcadia Bank, seeing if this whole business with their vault is true or not. They claim that they have a state-of-the-art security system that prevents any tampering, and that this money was found within my client's vaults, but anything's possible.
Have you been able to back up her alibi at all? Does anybody know or saw her in the places she claimed to have gone?
There hasn't been enough time. I've sent out some associates out to the crossroads into... Well, Lindholm's a bit too far, given how quickly things are likely to progress in this trial.
And the trial
I think
isn't
we
as
have a matter of
interested in
days.
giving you time to make your case?
Why is this
They're
trial
voting
moving
us.
so quickly?
I don't know, and that's what concerns me. Usually it's something of this magnitude. We have months of preparation, but they are...
Does that not strike you as strange?
It
Of course
does.
it does.
I lean in close to him.
Are you on the side of Anna Stonebrook, or are you just doing a job?
Of course I'm on her side.
That's a natural 14 on an insight check.
He is... It's hard to read.
14 plus whatever,
14 plus... Let me check.
just to make sure that
14 plus 12, that's a 26.
It's hard to read.
Okay.
What the? Lawyers have like a 30 to.
Lawyers.
Whenever Falk does like any kind of lawyer
Can-
stuff in this game, I think he's doing some kind of like meta commentary of his former life.
okay.
Let me put it this way. I believe in doing due diligence and the best for my clients. And I'm taking this case pro bono. You can see and look around you that I can make quite a living.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But I'm doing this out of good faith.
Thank you. That's...
I would like to speak with these cultists, and I would like to speak with Miss Stonebrook.
I'll see if I can arrange a meeting tomorrow
Please
morning
make that
before the
happen.
trial progresses.
If we have so little time, make it count.
All right. When do you think the meeting can happen?
Give me a couple of hours. Maybe I can have something pull something together tonight.
That would be good.
In the meantime, if you have any ideas...
Insight check with 25 on that. Let's see if he's actually listening to he's going to do that or not.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right.
In the meantime,
in the meantime, you might look into the...
Into the
bank.
bank.
I have a question.
Very well.
What was the name of the detective that came to our door?
I'm looking to.
I don't remember.
Detective
we
Shelby
detectives.
and his partner.
The lead detective on the case, Christina Blakemore, yes. And her slovenly partner, Jim Shelby.
Why were they coming to question us? Are they
They're,
trying to are they trying to find out more dirt, as it were, on her, or are they just trying to find out the truth?
No, Tangent, you're the mercenaries.
Oh,
They're trying to make a
mercenary.
connection to you.
What, to get us in trouble as well?
Not
No,
necessarily.
to
The-
spin
Not
our
sure they're going to
informa-
try to use us against her.
They're going to spin our information against her.
They seem. I don't think you're in any trouble personally. It seems that they might think you're unwitting dupes in all this, but they are claiming that Miss Stonebrook employed mercenaries, which I'm assuming by that they mean you, and paid you large sums of money, including gifting you an estate here on some property here in the city as a reward for retrieving these keys for her.
Anna has not given us any money.
Didn't she?
Nope,
No.
not that I remember.
Didn't we get money
And
now?
wasn't the estate more for
The estate was because we stopped
because
Emmett,
of the yeah.
Yes, but
but it wasn't about the
claiming-
keys. We didn't get the
Right.
key from him.
They're
That's
going to
the-
claim otherwise.
The decision was
okay.
yeah. We know the decision that for our thing was made before we even knew what the keys were,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
We have multiple points that contradict the
That was a
evidence they
long
have
Yeah.
against Donna.
But do we have any evidence to claim that? Don't we have a deed in writing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
where is that?
Stated. Probably in the bag of holding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We just keep everything important. in there.
It's safe.
It's not safe. One rip in that fucking thing, you're losing everything.
Oh. What's it made of?
Sackcloth.
I thought it was leather.
Well,
why
it
would
might
it
be
rip?
leather. Someone deliberately attacks it.
It's a magical item.
That's the way the bag of holding
Oh,
works.
the bag.
Let's
I thought we were talking
consider getting a safe, y'all.
I thought we were talking about the deed, and I was like, why would
No.
why would the deed rip?
No, the bag of holding, if someone attacks it deliberately, it can rip.
I
at
thought
which
I thought
point-
magical items couldn't be destroyed like that.
This
Not
can.
by-
This is an
They can-
exception.
Um,
If you read the description of the bag of holding, if it's ripped in any way, all of your items that are inside get shunted into an extra dimensional space and you never see them again.
Hey, y'all, I didn't know that about bags holding. Let's consider investing in a safe.
Yeah.
Wonder if I could build a safe.
Ooh.
Probably could have given some time.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
A
Cool
magical safe that
Then
cannot be
blacksmith
opened.
and
I've
shit to
definitely been
use.
wanting to like build something that is like has a lead lining so it could block magic stuff.
Would lead lining block magic?
Blocks detect magic.
Yes. Oh, detect magic. Okay.
Doesn't block magical spells.
It would also need to be
magical.
magical.
How?
It also wants
okay.
to be magical so it can't be destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Okay, anyway.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But safe in future, consider heavily. Okay, back to
Back to thing.
thing.
Yes, so it looks like they may try to question you about your involvement with the Chancellor, how long you've known her, what she's done for you, what you've done for her. They may be attempting to use that to spin against her.
Are they neutral?
I don't believe. they
Detective
were.
Blakemore is a very reputable detective. She is the senior detective of major crimes for a reason. She is almost unimpeachable in her integrity. Her partner, oh, I've had run-ins with him before. He's unorthodox. He doesn't do things by the book. He threatens, and at times I've gotten many cases by the prosecution tossed out because of his sloppy work. But I guess they paired the two together thinking that she'd rub off on him. I don't think it's working.
Interesting.
Good to
Mm.
know.
Well, I have a
We-
lot of work to prepare.
We
so
have a lead to chase. You have work to do. Let's go.
I'd say
Time is on.
meet me in
not
front
on
of
our
Ainsworth. Meet me in front of Ainsworth Prison at around 8 o'clock tonight.
side. Sounds good.
Alright.
Let's head out.
So as you head out of the lawyer's office and intent on tracking down the leads and uncovering who may be attempting to frame Anna as the leader of the Crimson Harbingers, that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh shit.
I'm so glad we didn't take the boat.
I know, I just kept
Y'all-
thinking.
Really
Y'all,
bad.
If you'd have taken the fucking boat a week later, this would have been all over. And Anna would
Yeah.
have
Oh
been
my
probably
god.
dead.
Yeah,
my
I was
God.
just thinking like, oh man, if we had taken the boat, we just, oh wow.
I was thinking about it as you were considering it, and I was like, if they take the boat, that's basically like done
That's
so for him.
that's fucking it. Oh man.
You know
I'm so glad
how
we
there's
didn't
like the
take boat.
curse where like the manga ends because like the manga like the author writes the people getting on a boat. It would have been that, but with us and our
I'm really glad I tried to message Anna so I knew that something was wrong.
Woo!
Jesus Christ.
Ugh.
And also, like, messaging Laura was a good idea too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Ugh.
A
We
fun
would have had
just
such a
beginning.
nice week on that boat though.
Yeah, it would have been a very
Yeah,
nice
completely unaware of
boat.
everything going wrong.
Sissel would have been like, yeah, I can totally read this tome with no issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you're gonna have to consider how you're gonna spend 8 hours a day reading that
So
shit.
what
Yeah.
what happens if Sissel doesn't, like, let's say Sissel misses a day,
It
doesn't-
basically just resets. You have
Okay,
to do
so
it
she
again.
can risk it.
Also,
and
she
I-
can technically get a point of exhaustion. You can just greater restoration it away.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
I would say after a
yeah.
while that's not gonna fly because if you keep
Yeah.
greater restorationing exhaustion levels and Sissel's basically
just-
up for like
Yeah,
seven-
it doesn't necessarily have to be read in like
D&D
chunk-
hacks. You don't need them to sleep.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have
I-
to be read like you can read like in chunks of a couple hours throughout the day when you get like some sit down time. Or just
When are we
fucking-
getting sit down time?
I don't
Well, you still have to read another 40 hours worth of the book in the next 5 days.
know.
So
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
very well.
Holy shit.
It's gonna be a fun
Oh
one.
my god. Fucking Jack.
I love it.
just sitting in the corner.
Yeah.
I think that when like Hiraeth used that spell, she wasn't even surprised. She was just like, "I knew it."
Yeah.
That fucker, like, he knows that we were there, and he was, in the moment that he saw us, he was just following us the whole time.
I feel like
Well, that's
I
why he
feel
left the
like-
gallery early
In
because he
One
figured
Ring.
y'all would have some intel.
Yeah.
So he just went back to your place and
Of course.
Yeah. Oh my
fucker.
god.
Such a
Fuck
fucker or
that
something.
guy.
Fuck that guy. I love him.
I
love him.
know.
Hee.
There, in the God of War game, there are these dwarves that just show up like in
Oh,
multiple
yeah.
places at a time because of dwarven magic. They call it. They don't even explain it in detail, and
Okay.
that's Jack. Like he's just wherever he needs to be at that moment. Like he can be across the country in like a second. He's just there all of a sudden, you know. And like
Yeah.
I feel like if like word if it meets Jack's ears, this is pretty big.
Well, it's not well known throughout the realm or anything, but Jack has his sources.
It's very
That's true.
relevant.
Oof.
I mean, literally, this happened like the prior evening was when she was arrested. So it has been less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
Ooh.
oh, laughing nervously. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Get ready. Fun.
It escalated.
Also, like, just we know that someone is like trying to set her up and definitely rushing it. So Ellen is definitely like going to be all over that scene looking for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah,
I mean,
and,
we
like, when-
we already
when
have contradictions to
like-
at least like 2 bits of the evidence, though.
Yeah. When the prosecutor like Loki insulted her, she's just like, okay, I'm just gonna find something none of your detectives can find.
Yeah, say hello to my plus 17 in investigation or whatever it is.
And then an inability to roll a natural 1? Huh?
That's ridiculous.
Oh, it is.
Donkulous. That was a lot.
That was a
Yeah.
lot. That was holy shit. Oh my god, y'all.
Mhm.
This is another mystery.
Yep.
Yerp.
Yep.
Yerp.
Campaign started with a mystery.
Yeah.
It's not ending, but this is.
I mean, there's always been this has always been mystery permeating in everything we've been doing. We never
but
we just
this is sort of like the closing chapter of an arc. So
Yeah. I'm gonna stop recording and upload this video.
we
Out
like
of
the arc is-
curiosity,
the arc is-
where
with this-
are we? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask how close are we to level 12?
Probably not that close.
Probably at the end of this chapter.
Oh.
Okay.
So
'Cause
you'll be a
Falk
level 11
doesn't-
through this. I don't do. I
thought
don't
you did-
do
I thought you
I don't
counted-
do XP anymore. I do milestones.
Yeah.
I thought you did it based on the number of sessions we had.
Yeah, but if I feel like it needs to take less or more,